could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it, and I like it a lot. You can't have it. But if you call and win your case and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch I've never even seen before, or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
Call 800-487-0943.
And you can't have my tie either.
Whether you're a professional driver or just a fan, vehicle breakdowns are costly.
It started tugging.
It started making some really weird noises.
The last thing I remember is just the engine cut out.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
Is that transmission?
It's an exhaust leak.
Broken axles.
But with Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000 engine replacement.
I had a seat sensor that went out, $1,400. Endurance paid it.
We got a brand new transmission, and we never saw the repair bill.
Use any certified mechanic you want. Just bring your car in, and Endurance will pay them direct. All major parts are covered.
What I like about Endurance, they don't play games, there's no middleman. They're a solid company.
If I didn't have Endurance, I would have paid over $7,000 out of pocket to repair my vehicle.
Something is going to break down. Make Endurance pay for it.
With Endurance, your car repair costs go way down, while your car's life expectancy goes way up, allowing you to drive more and pay less.
One claim alone saved me more than $4,000.
I've had 5 claims, and that is $3,500 that I've kept in my pocket.
So, who's going to pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Whether you put 10,000 or 100,000 miles a year on your car, if it's less than 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. Plus, your plan covers 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country. Call right now to get $300 off any plan, plus a full year of our top-tier elite benefits, a $2,000 value free. And all Endurance plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. But you have to act now. Call 1-866-971-0194 for a free quote. That's 1-866-971-0194.
Welcome back. Get this, folks. The average American eats Halloween candy twice before the actual holiday, causing them to refill their bowls before the spooky day.
Interestingly enough, one of the top candies that people can't get enough of is candy corn. The top 5 states for candy corn sales are Utah, Iowa, Kansas, Indiana, and Missouri. Maybe because those states like corn, they're big on agriculture, so candy corn, regular corn. I love candy corn. I think it's a great candy for Halloween. I will eat it before that day. Do you like it, John?
Well, you know what? I like candy. I grew up liking candy. I don't eat a lot of candy as an adult. But when I grew up, you know, I'm a son of a preacher, so we didn't do Halloween.
Right.
My mom said we don't
Satanic.
worship the devil.
Satanic holiday.
But they did give me candy.
Oh, that's nice.
And candy corn was not on the top of the list.
Okay. Well,
not my favorite.
Yeah, I still like it.
But you know what? Here's something else that's sweet, folks. First Edition will be right back right after the break. Stay with us.
Nothing is off limits to David Harris Jr., and there's no apologies because he's armed with common sense, real faith, and the truth. Don't miss him on The Pulse tonight.
Hi, folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
John O'Hurley here. The Medicare annual enrollment period is now. But who has time to call a bunch of different carriers just to compare Medicare Advantage plans? But what if I told you it could take just one call? By calling the number on your screen, you can compare rates and plans from multiple carriers. No more dialing around, no more headaches. It's fast, it's easy, and it's all done for you by a licensed insurance agent. You could get the coverage you want at a rate that fits your budget. It won't take more than a few minutes of your day, saving time, and it may save you money. But the clock is ticking. When the Medicare annual enrollment period ends, you may not be able to change your coverage until next year. Don't waste time. Call the Benefits Network to speak to a licensed insurance agent about Medicare Advantage plans and compare rates from national carriers. One call to compare options from multiple carriers.
For a free no-obligation consultation, call 800-596-4750.
You seen that life insurance thing I got in the mail?
It's over there.
The recycle bin. I sent for this.
You're buying life insurance now? Have you been to the grocery store lately? The last thing we need is another bill.
That's exactly why we need life insurance. It can help pay those bills. Funeral costs, too. Take a look at this. It costs pennies a day.
That's right. Rates for Colonial Penn Life Insurance start at $9.95 a month. That's 35 cents a day. And this is one bill you know will never go up. A lifetime rate lock guarantees it. Your rate is guaranteed, and so is your acceptance. That makes applying quick and easy. There are no medical questions, no physical exam. Since you can't be turned down, we don't ask about your health. Call for more information and your free gift today.
Call 1-800-289-8855 for free information and a free beneficiary planner. That's 1-800-289-8855. 1-800-289-8855.
As we've been reporting, folks, there's gridlock in Washington. And no, I'm not talking about the traffic. I'm talking about the budgetary impasse. It's day 9, the bottom of the 9th. And let's see if lawmakers can actually get their act together and pass this CR, hopefully a clean CR. And that's happening later this morning on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Republican leadership are set to hold a meeting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Update. Newsmax will bring it to you regarding the government shutdown.
Come to the Dove's open house and see our brand new studios that you helped make happen. October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
All right, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is the happening place, right? Yes, most of the West Coast tunes into this show to find out what's going on, then they go to work.
And yeah, more and more every day, especially as our signal expands.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Boy, it was kind of exhausting yesterday with all the stuff going on, but here we are today, and quite the celebration yesterday at the White House. I don't know if you saw that. I have a little bit for you coming up, but Charlie Kirk was honored yesterday. His wife did a marvelous job getting up and speaking to the crowd. So we have a little of that. Anyway, the weather is very fallish, and the leaves are falling, the acorns are falling.
Yeah.
The weather, by the afternoon, was actually a little on the warm side.
Right, it was nice. But
a little chilly this morning, though.
Yeah, like 38 up my neck of the woods. Yeah.
Well,
so
you know, it's cold when the dogs don't get up.
And they didn't. They just looked at me like, where are you going?
Have a nice day.
That's funny.
All right, good morning to you. What's up? What do you got?
Well, first of all, it's National Esthetician Day.
Oh.
Skincare professionals.
Okay.
You know, they give you facials and all these things to keep you looking good and fresh. And the more I looked at this and researched it, the more I realized I probably need it. So anyway, enjoy your esthetician.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Are they the ones that do the eyelashes too?
I don't know if
I think they do.
Maybe.
It's the new thing now.
What is? Eyelashes?
Yeah, these gals get all these eyelashes put on.
Really?
Haven't you seen them?
Well, yeah, haven't they been doing it for a long time? False eyelashes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's like taken off. It's like really popular.
You know, you're right. And some of them are so big they look like they're going to take off. No.
Well, they do. I mean, you would never get a suntan underneath them.
I am moving on.
I remember the late Tammy Faye on the PTL Club.
Remember Tammy? Yes.
And she had eyelashes.
Oh, out to there.
They were ski jumps.
Didn't she sell like a beauty line too?
I don't know. It kind of got ridiculous there for a while, but anyway.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of which, selling things, support your local Chamber of Commerce Day.
Oh, hey, did you know that our Chamber of Commerce is the biggest in the state?
No. Oh, I didn't know that.
And the most effective, the biggest. Yeah, and Eli Matthews, who runs it, he was just honored as like being the Chamber of Commerce Leader of the Year or something like that.
Eli's a good man.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He and I sit on the airport committee together. Good guy. But anyway, yeah, our chamber is the biggest, the best, and the most involved, and most engaged, and most fun in the state.
Hot dog. Well, with that endorsement, let's move on.
Yay.
We got the best. What else is there? It's National Cheese Curd Day. You can eat it straight and squeaky. Because it has got that kind of that weird texture to it, but they're so good. Or deep fried. Oh. Deep fried cheese curds. What could be wrong with that?
You know, I can't remember when I had it deep fried.
Yeah. Oh, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know what? You can find a lot of deep fried cheese on appetizer menus these days.
Okay.
Ooh, it's good. All right. Also, National Shawarma Day. Shawarma Day, celebrating the Middle Eastern rotisserie method of cooking meats such as lamb, chicken, and beef, and the dishes it makes, you know, like gyro sandwiches. Yeah, bursting with a marinade of Mediterranean herbs and spices. Shawarma, chicken or lamb, slowly cooks on a vertical rotisserie spit.
Yes.
The tender meat is then thinly sliced, grilled, and added to a pita wrap with a variety of toppings.
Yes.
Customize this flavorful dish with fresh vegetables, cheese, and a variety of herbs. Special sauces enhance the enjoyment of this delectable dish as well, and I love it, especially on the streets of New York. They have lots of gyro sandwich little stands and stuff, and it's got that vertical spit.
You got to have that, and you know, when I went to Israel years ago, they held I guess it's like a tortilla thing. And they hold it right up to the vertical thing, and they just take a knife and they go, and it falls right in there.
Yes, yeah.
And then they put the stuff on it.
Oh.
Now, I guess that would be a Mediterranean taco, but it was sure good.
A Mediterranean taco.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would sell. You know, don't
give it a
take
try.
away. You know, what's a shawarma? It's a Mediterranean taco.
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right. Well, it is National Hagfish Day, what some consider one of the ugliest of all fishes. This day encourages us to look past the exterior, admire one of God's oddest creations. And speaking of hagfish, we would call it a slime ball. But it would be absolutely true. They are slimy. They look like eels, but they're actually a type of jawless fish with very unusual slime production. When threatened, hagfish secrete a thick, gelatinous slime. It's stronger and more durable than nylon, and it can suffocate or deter predators by clogging their gills. This slime can expand to over 100 times its original size. And hagfish have a skull made of cartilage. They lack jaws and a mouth surrounded by tentacles. Oh, it's a face only a mother could love. It's
well, I don't know. So let me ask you this.
What?
Do you eat it?
You know, I don't know. This is one of God's creations that helps clean up the stuff on the bottom of the ocean.
Okay.
You know, one of the bottom feeders.
According to Deuteronomy, you
don't want to eat it.
No.
Right.
No, Leviticus, Leviticus.
Yeah. So I watch a lot of those alone shows, you know, where they put people up. And when they get an eel and stuff, I'm always struck by the fact that everyone touches it, especially experienced fishermen. Yeah, that was not good, was it?
That's not a morning shot.
That wasn't a morning show.
That's not a morning shot.
I'm responsible. But they always talk about how slimy they are. Even experienced fishermen, they go slimy. But there's an example of, you know, one of God's creatures that can really do it. So,
all right, this is a classic setup, but I won't say that you're slimy. But you do the weather here.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure is bringing sunny days and cool nights, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, patchy frost and sunny in 66 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, sunny and near 65 in Salem. Early patchy frost from Albany through Corvallis and Eugene, then clearing to sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s and a light west wind. Patchy frost this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 60 in Prineville and mid to upper 50s in Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers and patchy fog with a high near 59. Mostly sunny today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low to mid-60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, low 50s in Brookings and upper 50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny skies for the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin with daytime highs near 70 in Grants Pass, mid to upper 60s in Medford and Ashland, and low 60s in Klamath Falls with a low near 33. Into northern California, sunny with a high in the mid-60s in Wairika. Cloudy through mid-morning, then gradual clearing for Redding, Chico, and Sacramento with daytime highs near 63 and a light and variable wind. In the Bay Area, patchy fog this morning in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid-60s. Mostly sunny in mid-60s in San Francisco, and patchy fog, then sunny in upper 60s in San Jose. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Well, we did a little bit of our own shot this morning, heading out over the valley. The sun's certainly not up, and that's kind of a shot. What's happening in beautiful downtown
Las
LV?
Vegas. Yeah, well, our new viewers in Las Vegas got a pretty nice day. Sunny today, a high near 68. The wind will be shifting, but it'll be a light northwest wind by mid-morning.
All right, good.
Not bad. Well, here we have Pastor Jack Graham, and he looks at Scripture to explain a mystery of all creation waiting eagerly for its redemption.
You see the beauty of all that God has done and all that God has made, and in so many ways it is beautiful. I am reminded of a little girl who asked her mother, they were out looking at the stars one evening, such a beautiful evening, and they were looking at the stars, and how glorious it is to see that the heavens declare the glory of God. And she was seeing that, and she said, Mommy, if the wrong side of heaven is so pretty, how pretty must heaven really be? So in so many ways, we see the beauty, the touch of God's hands, and we can celebrate the creation, and we're to be stewards of what God has made. But we must admit that this world is groaning, and that includes me and you, because he also says in verse 23 that not only does creation groan, but the Christian groans. Look at verse 23 again. Let's just review it one more time, for it says, not only that, but we ourselves who have the Spirit as the first fruit, we also groan within ourselves, eagerly awaiting for the adoption, the redemption of our bodies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good reminder.
Yeah.
Good stuff all the way around. All right, good morning to you. 10 minutes past the hour on this beautiful Wednesday morning. A couple of stories here today. First of all, just in recognition yesterday, the president, you know, he flew all night long from Egypt back. He got to the White House, and late yesterday afternoon, he did honor Charlie Kirk with the Freedom Award. And his wife, Erica, got up and addressed the crowd. Now, all of this was done outside. A huge crowd, considering, you know, the amount of people that showed up to this. And she was, she's such a beautiful lady, and she got up and just honored her husband, honored the president for doing this. And she received the Medal of Freedom Award in behalf of her husband. And in the meantime, the Turning Point organization just continues to expand at a rate unlike anything we have seen before. And the scripture that most people are referring to on Charlie Kirk's assassination, you got to kind of process it in your brain, but it's found in the Gospel of John, and it says, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit. And since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Turning Point has exploded across the country. Tens of thousands of clubs opening up in junior high school, and colleges.
Oh, I didn't realize it was at that level.
It is. It's all the way down.
Wow.
And now, hopefully, all of this is, you know, being managed. It's a little overwhelming. She got catapulted into the CEO position, but she has a good board around her. I know some of the people.
Oh, okay.
Lucas Miles, who we've had on the show quite a few times, is now working very closely with them. He may be the guy that takes over the show permanently, I don't know. Wow. But we've had Lucas on the program on numerous occasions. He also works with Summit Ministries, and so there's a lot going on there. It's really good. Yeah. All right, the other thing yesterday is we're now into day 2 of phase 2 as it relates to the 20-point peace agreement in the Middle East, and this is where Hamas has to disarm and not be a part of the new government, and there will be no two-state solution. And now this isn't going very well. They've released 4 bodies out of the 28 that they're supposed to release, and one of them wasn't even a hostage. Right. We've seen this before.
Absolutely, yep.
They are now obviously playing games again, and the question is, will they disarm? The president was asked that, and here's what he said.
We're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm, and if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you, but if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games, okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do, above all else, get the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. And it seems as though they don't have that because we're talking about a much lesser number. But that's a very tough subject. I want them back. That's what they said. I want them back. Also, they said they were going to disarm. But we have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes. You say
because
quickly.
you always, everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm. They will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm, or we will disarm them. Got it?
Wow.
Okay, well, that's very clear. Apologize for the audio levels. We'll get that fixed. But yes, basically, they're now in this area where they have to disarm. So are they going to create a demilitarized zone or not?
I don't know.
And I would say, look, Hamas, how can I say this? They have no bargaining chip anymore.
Right, right.
The hostages are out.
Yeah.
Now they're playing around with the remains of the dead hostages, and that's not going well. And for them to send the body out that's not a hostage, I mean, that's like you know, that's like laughing in your face again.
Right, right.
So we'll see where this goes, but not good.
And not only that, but we see some really weird things going on right now in Gaza, where we've seen some of these Hamas troops are in their local clans, and they're extracting retribution on their own people who they think sold them out to Israel. There are public executions going on right now.
Yeah, see, in a weird way, it's their own civil war.
It is, yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. All right, the other story is, and I bring this to you only because I think you need to know this, and that is that China has always done this, but now they've had, over the last weekend, did a major crackdown on Christian ministries inside of China. And they are arresting pastors. They have home churches over there. And believe me, folks, they know who's worshiping where and what. Wow. And they are cracking down on it. And it's 30 pastors and have been detained. Some are still in custody. You know how detainment is not the right word. These people will never see the light of day again. They get sent off to these concentration camps. Some of them are killed. We saw the crackdown in Hong Kong when China took over Hong Kong. All the religious leaders there, notice you don't hear a peep out of there.
Yeah, true, yeah.
I can tell you this, and I can't tell you all the details, but today 11 million people in China read our devotional, this one right here.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how we get it in there, okay? But in times past, we were able to print in there, and that got shut down.
Oh.
And so we work with the companies and ministries, and we work with them on the intellectual property, and then we get it printed in Chinese, and we get it in there. 11 million people will read this today or have read this today, and then we'll share it with 2 other people. So that's possibly 33 million people have read this today.
Whoa.
Okay?
Yeah.
We were in Beijing until our interpreter got caught and was killed at the border getting out. We got his wife out, but he was killed. This was years ago. Okay? And so it's serious business over there being a Christian. But the last time they got into China, you remember, before all this recent crackdown, they realized there was an underground revival going on and an underground church inside of China that was really amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the heat's back on. And this is, well, you can call it bullying, but it's intimidation at its extreme.
Yeah.
And so they put the fear in you. But I tell you about, you talk about bold Christianity. It's in China. These people will worship and praise God, and they're being converted, and they will have their churches in spite of this crackdown.
Yeah.
But if they get caught, that's usually you don't see the light of day again. So I bring that to you because it's real.
Yeah.
It's absolutely real. All right, good morning. 18 minutes past the hour on a beautiful Wednesday morning. And I don't know where you got that slimy fish story, but we got to figure out a way to
Wait a minute. Let's think of good things. Shawarma.
Shawarma.
Just cutting that meat right off the vertical spit. It's what's for breakfast.
Lamb or beef?
Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Good boy. All right, we'll take a shawarma break.
Shawarma. Yeah. Shawarma.
Grange Co-op, where big ideas grow.
The Dove's brand new studio is complete, and you've made it happen. To give you an in-person chance to see this important milestone, the Dove is hosting an open house Wednesday, October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m. at our studios. Hope to see you.
Men of Southern Oregon, we are thrilled to announce that our next Game Changers, we are bringing in author and speaker Lee Strobel. If you're not familiar with Lee Strobel, he wrote The Case for Faith, The Case for Christ. He is the man behind the movie The Case for Christ, and he's got a new book out called Seeing the Supernatural. Recently, he's been featured on The Sean Ryan Show. He's been featured on Tucker Carlson. A lot of his books address big questions that believers have, and even the unbelieving world, about heaven, about Jesus. Can we trust the resurrection? He was formerly an atheist, and through his research, he came to the faith. I'm super excited for you guys to experience Game Changers at Edgewater Christian Fellowship with Lee Strobel. Get signed up. It's November 2nd, 6 p.m. God bless you guys.
Looking for the perfect RV adventure?
Team Toner's got you covered from homes to homes on wheels.
Discover unbeatable deals only at American RV in Southern Oregon.
All right, good morning to you. 20 minutes now past the hour. Well, listen, Portland, when Portland gets in the news, you know it's news, right? And we've had some problems up there. Everybody's waiting to see what the appellate court's going to do with the 2 lower courts putting these injunctions, stopping the president from, taking the National Guard into Portland. And so the way they're countering this is that they're having peaceful protests during the day.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And then the ugly stuff at night. So the whole thing's a game. And, I talked to somebody the other day, and they said, well, we don't see that. We don't see that on the news. Well, of course you don't see it on the news.
Right.
So anyway, but this kind of tops it. Now, I sent this story to Alice. She edits everything for us before we go on the air.
Right.
Alice is like our golden person here, because if it wasn't for Alice, we wouldn't be on the air.
Yeah, she's platinum, beyond gold.
So I told her, I said, Alice, be careful editing this.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I know where we're going.
So will you tell me what this means? in protest.
Okay.
But yesterday, the Portlanders had a naked bike protest. Now, what are you supposed to do with this?
Nothing. Not a thing.
No, fortunately, those have clothes on.
Oh, yeah.
But it was raining, so they put clear plastic over themselves. They hop on their bike naked, and they're going through Portland demonstrating what?
Yeah, what? Yeah, keep it weird,
Okay,
Portland.
so then they bring all these little funny cartoon things so the kids can come.
Oh, no, you don't invite kids to this.
And there's...
No.
Yes.
No.
Would you tell me what this means?
Oh, this means, well, it just shows, where they're coming from.
So they're standing up for illegals.
Yeah, right.
They're against ICE. I mean, this is... So, only in Portland, on a rainy day, would people get on their bike naked and ride through town.
Oh, golly. Yeah, thanks for editing, Alice.
Thank you,
appreciate that.
Thank you, Alice, for blurring that.
It was mostly 99.9% pretty good.
Yeah, so now I know why I didn't become a doctor.
Oh!
I couldn't work with that. There's no way I could work with that.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, the other story is now, are you sitting down? I have to keep this a little on the light side, keep myself from going over the fence here.
All right.
But the Democrats in Oregon, as you know, we're a supermajority state, are on track now, listen to this, to spend $500 million more on a program that includes free health care for illegals. According to the state's report, the Health Oregon Program, HOP, has budgeted currently set at $1.3 billion. And the program was launched a couple of years ago in 2022, has seen a rise of 1,100%.
Wow.
Now, do you remember, let me just put this in perspective. Just a few weeks ago, we're trying to figure out $350 million short in ODOT.
Right.
They've budgeted $500 million more for a program that's going to give free health care to illegals. We could have solved the ODOT problem with this stupid thing right here.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So I don't know what to tell you. This program will include illegals, and it will cut down the state police budget. So there's a part of this mentality and ideology on the left, you just can't describe it. I mean, there's only one word you can put on it. It's called crazy.
Yeah, you're right.
And you remember Sarah Huckabee Sanders said it best. She said, you just can't. She just said, look, it's just one word. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have a question for you. We're going to see the petition process to get the voters involved in that tax increase that we saw, brought to us by special session. But obviously we were waiting for that to happen, but the governor hasn't signed it, so that effort hasn't started. But I have seen that there is a recall effort right now
on her.
On her.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Because
well, that always happens, and I will say this: it's gaining momentum.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen successful recalls at that level.
Right,
but it does send a message.
It does send a message, and I did hear it pointed out by someone discussing this, saying, basically they were saying, what's the use? Because you get her into a recall effort, and then she gets nominated on the next, election cycle, and she gets reelected anyway, because we're a supermajority state. So, is it spinning your wheels?
No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Good question, because that's normally how we think.
Yeah.
But there's something else moving in this state. She is now becoming so unpopular. And if this petition drive goes, and it's, you know what? It's ready to go. They're out there. They're ready to go. They're waiting for the green light.
Okay.
Once it goes, we only need 77,000 legal ones. We're going to go for 150, maybe more, to make sure that we don't have that other thing you talked about. If this gets on the ballot, and you see this kind of headlines where they're spending $500 million for illegals, and yet they won't pay $350 million to save ODOT and put it into a budget audit. I mean, this is just ludicrous.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
And then you add to that a recall effort. It ups her negativity so bad that when she goes into the primary, she'll probably win the primary, but she could lose the election.
Okay, all right.
If we have a good Republican alternative out there, or even a good independent alternative out there. I think she's in trouble.
Okay.
And I think Oregon is ripe for the picking. If we just have some good common sense people. Don't run your campaigns the old-fashioned way. That's my only tip.
So I'm not wasting my signature by signing that petition?
No.
Okay.
I know. Sign them both.
Sign them both, yeah.
Several times.
Oh, no,
Just kidding.
No.
Just kidding. Okay, let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on out there. Pretty nice, actually. We're kind of in a reprieve right now, and the temperatures will bump a little bit. But coming through the weekend, we'll see another turnaround, right?
Yeah, it looks like by Sunday, a 50% chance of showers, but pretty nice until then.
Not too bad.
And yeah, it's that time of the season, and of course, we're going to see more of those acorns dropping, and the leaves starting to turn.
By the way,
What?
did you see Mount McLaughlin?
Oh boy, it jumped out yesterday, didn't it?
We need to get a photo of that, guys.
Yes.
It is beautiful.
Oh, it was
snow-capped.
Outstanding. Yeah, it looked like winter Mount McLaughlin, didn't it?
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy joined Mornings with Maria to discuss something I'd like to talk to you about. How this shutdown is affecting air controllers.
Oh, just get in a plane and go somewhere and see what happens.
Well, let's take a listen in on how this is impacting flights and cancellations.
We are really tight on air traffic controllers. We're understaffed. We need another 2,000 to 3,000 controllers across our system. And so if you have a few controllers that call in sick, it will ricochet through the airspace, and we have delays because we're not overstaffed. We can't lose 100 controllers in a day. Otherwise, it has significant impact. And so, what we've seen is controllers incredibly frustrated by the shutdown. What Chuck Schumer is doing, looking out for illegal migrants as opposed to looking out for air traffic controllers. They don't show up, and all of a sudden we have massive delays. My message to the controllers is they have to come to work. You got to show up. That's your job. You're going to get paid for your work. It depends when Chuck Schumer opens up the government, but you will get paid. But beyond that, when you have a delay or a cancellation, you got to look to the Democrats and wonder, why do they want to create chaos? Why do they want to create pain in my life? For political power? I think Americans are upset about that. From my perspective, when you travel, though, we will slow you down. We will cancel flights. We want to make sure that when you travel safely. And so if we don't have the controllers necessary to keep you safe, we slow it down, and that's what you see with those delays. But again, the No Kings protest, Maria, really frustrating. I mean, this is part of Antifa, paid protesters. It begs the question, who's funding it? But yeah, Democrats want to wait for a big rally of a No Kings protest, when the bottom line is, who's running the show in the Senate? Chuck Schumer's not running the show. The No Kings protesters or organizers are running the show. Is AOC threatening a primary against Chuck Schumer? Is she running the show? But you need a strong leader in the Senate to take control and make decisions. And Chuck Schumer's blown in the breeze. He has no power, no authority, because he's given it up to his primary opponent, potentially an AOC, or to the No Kings protest organizers, and it's shameful.
Wow. Okay, let me put a little bit of perspective on this.
Okay.
We have a air traffic controller shortage long before the shutdown. The shutdown is just aggravating the problem, big time. And I could say to aviation enthusiasts, you may want to consider a career in air traffic control. One place you probably go is to Oklahoma City, and you go through the school there. It's quite a deal. Whether you work in a control tower or an ATC center, we have a shortage of air traffic controllers, and we need them. We need a bunch of them, and they need to be trained. And part of the problem is, fortunately, Congress is starting to upgrade a lot of the tower equipment. We have antiquated equipment in a lot of these towers around the country. And we need to update the technology there. So if the combination of those two things were a problem before the shutdown just aggravates it. So that's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. What do we have? What do you call those things?
We got
Mediterranean tacos. We'll be right back.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Welcome to Fish Lake Resort, where adventure is everywhere, and everyone is your friend. The fishing is great, and the food is tasty. The RV sites are full hookup, and the cabins are cozy. It's always a good time at Fish Lake Resort, and the best part is, you can come visit any day of the year because we are open all year, 7 days a week. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
It can be puzzling assembling all the right pieces for your insurance needs in retirement. I'm Michelle Slate. Lighthouse Financial shines guiding light on retirement, investing, and insurance. Guiding you through the stormy seas of insurance, Lighthouse stands out as a beacon of hope, offering you wise counsel and biblically responsible investing. Lighthouse Financial. Call us today, 541-494-1034.
Welcome back on a beautiful Wednesday morning where it was a miracle that we got Jerry out of bed to come here this morning.
Miracles happen.
Yeah. When you have 38 degrees, that's slicker down.
Oh yeah,
temperature.
Dogs didn't even wag their tail at me this morning. They just looked at me and said, "Get out of here."
Are you burning wood?
Oh boy, am I burning wood? Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
We got a fire going and the stove's cranked up and it's nice and toasty in there. It feels good.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, the grandbabies came over the weekend. They said, "Grandpa, you have a fire going?" I go, "Yeah, don't you?" They said, "No." And so they went home. They called me later and said, "We got Daddy to start a fire."
You know what you ought to do with your grandkids?
What?
Make them protest signs and send them home. You know, little signs.
Yes.
Start the fire.
Start the fire.
More candy.
Yeah, I like that.
Make a little protest sign. We'll send your kids.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Well, so much for that levity. In the meantime, the president's pretty firm on saying to Hamas, disarm. So let's check in with CBN News Watch.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Wednesday, the 15th of October, going to begin this half hour with concerns about Hamas in the Middle East after the ceasefire deal has gone into effect. As President Donald Trump says Hamas had better disarm in Gaza or else. And Israel is delaying some actions in Gaza after Hamas is dragging its feet in returning the bodies of the hostages, a commitment that should have been completed by Monday. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us the story. She's reporting from Jerusalem.
President Trump is warning Hamas to lay down its weapons as they agreed to do in the ceasefire deal.
We have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm.
It comes as Hamas moves to retake parts of Gaza and is publicly executing its enemies. Meantime, Israel temporarily closed the Rafah crossing into Gaza. It's accusing Hamas of breaking the agreement by failing to turn over all 28 deceased hostages. Overnight, Hamas turned over 4 more bodies to the International Committee of the Red Cross, but forensics determined one body was not a hostage. That brings the total to just 7. Fabrizio Carboni of the International Committee of the Red Cross told CBN's Faith Nation how important it is for families to receive the remains.
It's not just a point in a peace agreement. It's something very important for the families, because if you don't have the mortal remain and the body, you can't grieve, and more importantly, you don't know, and you stay in a situation of ambiguous loss, and it's a permanent state of torture.
One of those still waiting is Ella Haimi. Her husband Tal died fighting terrorists invading their kibbutz on October 7th, and his body was taken to Gaza. She has 4 children, the youngest born after Tal was killed. She says her life is full of mixed emotions.
I'm very happy for other people
and I'm very sad for myself. We had the worst, that we lost Tal, but we have Lotan, the baby. So this is my life, happiness and sadness mixed together. This is my life. To be happy for the families I've been with for 2 years. I saw them fighting, and I'm glad for them.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah visited some of the hostages returned this week.
With the same determination, the same responsibility, the same seriousness, we are dealing with the return of the deceased. We will spare no effort and no means to return them.
Families of the 20 hostages that returned are speaking for the first time. Liran Berman thanked President Trump for the return of his twin brothers, Gali and Ziv.
For 738 days, our lives were trapped between hope and fear. Yesterday, that chapter ended. Seeing Gali and Ziv again, holding them after so long, was like feeling the world start to move again.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is joining us now to continue our coverage from there. So, Chris, what is the reaction there in Israel to President Trump's warning to Hamas to disarm? Could Israel strike Hamas again?
Well, first, Ephraim, they're glad to see that President Trump is very clearly telling Hamas that they promised to disarm, and he will make them disarm, even violently if necessary. Netanyahu told CBS News that if Hamas won't disarm, the military option remains on the table. So, yes, Israel could strike Hamas again, and they're prepared. They do still control 53% of the Gaza Strip. They're right positioned on what's called the yellow line. And so depending on the conditions, they could actually go back to Gaza City. It won't be easy, and it won't be probably mixed feelings here in Israel about actually going back and putting all the soldiers back in harm's way. It's been a relief for the last few days to have all of the living hostages mixed with some sadness, as we see in Julie's report. President Trump didn't give any specifics how he would disarm Hamas, but we'll see what happens in the next few days, how Hamas reacts, as well as the White House.
All right. Well, it ain't over.
No, it ain't over. You're right.
It won't be for a while. I think that, look, I can't help but think that American intelligence knows that Hamas has no intentions of disarming and going away as if everything they believe in is now done. So how do you corral this? And this diplomacy over there has just got so many angles to it. So I can't help but think that Hamas is going to be surprised that the games are over.
Okay, do you think that this thing with Hamas is these rogue elements inside that don't want to disarm? Because we've had the leadership say, yeah, we'll disarm. The president said, they told him, to his face they would disarm. So is the body not listening to the head in Hamas? What's going on? Are these rogue elements, or is this planned?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, the only thing I can say is we don't understand a death cult mindset. We don't understand that.
Yeah.
If you study what cults are, okay, and the primary element of a cult is we have the truth,
right,
and everybody else is wrong.
Yes.
And when you commit to that lie, and you're willing to die for it, then it's a cult of death, and they're willing to do this. I don't think they've been converted to anything other than they've just been set back.
Yeah.
And I think our intelligence certainly knows that. So we'll see where this goes. All right, good morning to you. He does slimy fish stories and the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure is bringing sunny days and cool nights, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, patchy frost and sunny in 66 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, sunny and near 65 in Salem, early patchy frost from Albany through Corvallis and Eugene, then clearing to sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s and a light west wind. Patchy frost this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 60 in Prineville and mid to upper 50s in Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers and patchy fog with a high near 59. Mostly sunny today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low to mid-60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, low 50s in Brookings, and upper 50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny skies for the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin with daytime highs near 70 in Grants Pass, mid-upper 60s in Medford and Ashland, and low 60s in Klamath Falls with a low near 33. Into northern California, sunny with a high in the mid-60s in Wairika, cloudy through mid-morning, then gradual clearing for Redding, Chico, and Sacramento with daytime highs near 63 and a light and variable wind. In the Bay Area, patchy fog this morning in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid-60s, mostly sunny in mid-60s in San Francisco, and patchy fog then sunny in upper 60s in San Jose. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Portland, sunny. Look at that. Beautiful day. Yeah. Over the city that people like riding their bikes naked through town. Pretty amazing.
What are we seeing on the right?
I don't know. I don't know what that was. All right, moving along here quickly.
Well, let me ask you something. Please. You have received a lot of letters and emails through your public life and career. Have you ever had one that suggested maybe you make a little change in your appearance? Mm-hmm. Any grooming tips? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, a future U.S. president received exactly that on this day in history.
It's one of the most famous beards in American history, and Abraham Lincoln almost didn't grow it. On October 15, 1860, just weeks before the presidential election, Lincoln received a letter from 11-year-old Grace Bedell of Westfield, New York. She admired his leadership, but thought his clean-shaven face could use a little improvement. Grace wrote, "If you would let your whiskers grow, you would look a great deal better. All the ladies like whiskers, and they would tease their husbands to vote for you." Lincoln took her advice, grew a beard, won the presidency, and a few months later stopped his train in Westfield to thank Grace in person. He stepped off the train and she stepped forward. They came together and he bent down to speak with her and said, "You see, I let these whiskers grow for you, Grace." He then gave her a handshake and a kiss on the forehead. All thanks to one young girl's honest suggestion, a beard that became an American icon.
How about that?
Now, beards are obviously back.
Yeah, well, yeah, in a big way. Yeah, you don't have anything, though.
Oh, I've been growing one for 3 years. No, it's interesting. Again, a little bit of political research. That is just the opposite today. Women do not want their politicians to have a beard.
Well, I know
that's like 63%, so it's not 100%.
I know a woman who doesn't want her husband to have a beard or a mustache.
I just let that sit out there. Yes, I have gotten letters of. It's interesting you'd ask that.
Why?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I am.
I've gotten letters not to wear this jacket.
No.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. They just don't like it.
Well, no, that's wrong. No, that's a nice jacket. I like it.
Well,
if you get rid of it, let me know.
You can have it. We're probably about the same size.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I'll take it.
You wear jackets much better than I do.
No, I don't know.
I like wearing sweaters. I wish we could just do the whole show in sweaters.
Well, Friday's casual Friday's coming up.
I enjoy wearing sweaters.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Ronald Reagan Library. They did a special thing. I want to run this morning because it really is special. Former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, they did in honor of her 100th birthday, and here it is.
This year we mark the centennial of Margaret Thatcher's birth. A leader of strong conviction and courage, she stood side by side with President Ronald Reagan during one of history's most defining chapters. Whether it was together on the world stage, at the White House at 10 Downing Street, or a visit to Camp David with President Reagan at the wheel of a golf cart, the Prime Minister and the President shaped global politics. Together they shared a deep belief in liberty, free enterprise, and the strength of democratic nations.
I think people saw them together and thought, these people are truly bonded in friendship, not just allies, not political allies, but a friendship that we share, this country shares with the UK, and really with like-minded people around the world, in the search for freedom, for democracy, for humanitarian rights. Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher probably will go down in history as one of the strongest alliances, personal and public alliances, that the world has ever known.
I very much wanted to come to the United States right at the beginning of my third term to underline once again the absolutely central importance to us of the United Kingdom-United States relationship. And I'm glad to report that it is as strong and as special today as it has ever been.
They were a formidable team, addressing Soviet aggression by solidly defending freedom around the world. Together, they inspired millions, showing that leadership grounded in principle can change the course of history.
Now more than ever, we need American leadership, and your president is uniquely able to give it and will give it. We must not let slip the tremendous gains of the last few years. America and Europe together can secure that more stable and peaceful world, which has been our hope and our dream.
As we mark Margaret Thatcher's 100th birthday, we honor not only her leadership, but also the friendship she shared with President Reagan. Together, they reminded us that true alliances built on trust and shared purpose can shape history and change the world for the better.
Mr. President, may I thank you once again for your hospitality, for America's friendship and staunch leadership of the West, and for these constructive talks to chart the way ahead.
Here's to the Iron Lady and the Gipper, both of whom enjoy enduring legacies. Happy Centennial, Margaret Thatcher. May your spirit continue to shine a positive light on the United Kingdom, the United States, and the world.
Well, there you go. That was done by the Reagan Library. Let me add just a little departing rhetorical question.
Okay.
Was the relationship between Ronald Reagan and Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher providential?
I think so, yes.
If you go back to that time in world history, and wouldn't it be something if we could have that relationship with the UK today? Because you know what the UK needs? The UK needs the United States right now.
Right.
The UK is on shaky ground.
Wouldn't you love to hear the Iron Lady's comments on the state of the UK right now?
Oh, gosh.
Huh?
Yeah. Pretty good stuff. All right, we'll take a... well, you know, falafel break. That's well, falafel. Okay, so you have the Mediterranean taco.
yeah, the Mediterranean taco. I love that. Yeah.
But the falafel would be the Israel Mediterranean taco.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, same thing.
All right.
They're pretty good.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Okay.
My soul is silent, I am found, and it's a beautiful sound. It's a beautiful.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
After months of planning and construction, the Dove's brand new studio and set upgrade is now complete, and you've made it happen. To celebrate and give you a chance to see this important milestone, the Dove is hosting an open house October 29th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at our studios at 2070 Milligan Way in Medford. Come out and see what you did for this major accomplishment. To RSVP, call 541-200-6043.
Chris Silva understands your home and your commercial buildings are two of the largest investments most people make in a lifetime. One is for your family, the other is to support your family financially. That is why Chris Silva Painting goes the extra mile to protect both homes and commercial buildings with proper painting preparation and high-quality primers and paints. Serving Southern Oregon since 2006, this family-owned and operated business has painted over 1,000 homes. Chris Silva Painting offers an industry-leading 5-year warranty that covers materials and labor on all painting projects work for both residential and commercial buildings, both interior and exterior painting. Chris and his crew are courteous, they are efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960. At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
Okay, welcome back. 8 minutes before the hour. Yesterday I had Jeffrey Gilson. He actually wrote speeches for Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so anyway, he's quite a guy, and he's quite the historian. So I asked him yesterday, I said, do you think, is there a takeaway from the template that was used to bring peace in the Middle East could be used for Russia and Ukraine? And here's what he had to say.
Absolutely, both in terms of style and tactics and in terms of content. I think that in the weeks around the Anchorage meeting with Putin, the template for peace in Ukraine was set. And everybody knows that, even Putin knows that. And the template was Russia is going to get some land. Ukraine is going to have to be neutral. It's not going to be allowed to be a part of NATO. And there will be security guarantees from Europe and the United States, even if that doesn't necessarily mean boots on ground. Now, to his credit, I think Trump then said, okay, I'm going to hand it over to you. You guys go off and discuss it. Kind of like phase 2 in Gaza. And this was, in a way, probably a silly thing to do, because once they were left alone, the children started playing without wishing to be too dismissive. And Putin upped how much land he wanted. Zelensky started talking to European leaders and started talking about boots on the ground and Tomahawk missiles. And the whole thing just got out of hand, and it shouldn't have done. It's not exactly the same situation with Gaza. Trump doesn't have quite the sway with Putin as he does with, say, Netanyahu, or even now with Hamas, and certainly with the Arab nations, but he has some lever points. And this is where I think the tactics of Gaza are going to come to play. I think Trump now has seen that his style of deal-making works. The world has seen it. Important thing about Putin to remember about Sharm el-Sheikh yesterday is he wasn't there. Xi Jinping wasn't there. I think I just mentioned this. And he knows that he is now on his back foot. This is not where he wanted to be. I suspect you will see something else in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I think that Scott Bessent will be impressed to push ahead with a trade deal with India so that India stops buying oil and gas from Russia. I think Trump will also, through Keir Starmer, with whom he has a close relationship, impress upon Europe they must stop buying oil and gas from Russia. That pressure, that arm twisting, I think will be brought to bear with Putin. The other tactic, I think we'll see this Friday, when Zelensky comes to White House, thinking he's going to talk about putting Tomahawk cruise missiles in Ukraine. I don't think that's going to come to any fruition, but Trump has sort of draped his coat about that one, again, to put pressure on Putin.
Interesting stuff. By the way, he doesn't think the EU will put pressure on, stop buying oil from
Okay.
Putin. So.
All right. Well, we got a great rescue story here.
Okay.
This little girl's being hailed as a hero, and it was all caught on camera.
Leah James was participating with her 7-year-old brother in the viral Warhead Challenge, where two people sit side by side and after popping a super sour warhead into their mouths, see who can go the longest with no reaction. But things took a frightening turn. The siblings were laughing and jumping on a trampoline, testing who could handle the sour candy the longest, when Logan suddenly began to choke. In the video, Logan can be seen sitting up and clutching his throat as he struggles to breathe. Leah immediately asks if he's okay and gives a few firm pats on his back. When that doesn't work, she remembers what her mom taught her, how to perform the Heimlich maneuver. With calm and courage far beyond her years, Leah wraps her arms around her brother and performs several quick abdominal thrusts. Moments later, Logan coughs up the candy and begins breathing again. The incredible rescue was shared by the Lavon Police Department, where the children's mother, Heather James, works as a special programs administrator. Lavon's chief of police, Michael Jones, praised Leah's quick thinking, calling her actions truly life-saving.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
right.
great. Great scripture for you today. 1 Corinthians 6:20, for you were bought at a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. They belong to him now. Mount Ashland.
Sweet.
3/4 of an inch of snow.
Grange Co-op, where big ideas grow.
Men of Southern Oregon, we are thrilled to announce that our next Game Changers, we are bringing in author and speaker Lee Strobel. If you're not familiar with Lee Strobel, he wrote The Case for Faith, The Case for Christ. He is the man behind the movie The Case for Christ, and he's got a new book out called Seeing the Supernatural. Recently, he's been featured on The Sean Ryan Show. He's been featured on Tucker Carlson. A lot of his books address big questions that believers have, and even the unbelieving world, about heaven, about Jesus. Can we trust the resurrection? He was formerly an atheist, and through his research, he came to the faith. I'm super excited for you guys to experience Game Changers at Edgewater Christian Fellowship with Lee Strobel. Get signed up. It's November 2nd, 6 p.m. God bless you guys.
Thousands of satisfied customers make Jim Clark's Consignment Country the most recommended RV consignment lot on the West Coast. Even dealers recommend us. That success comes from dealing with only the cleanest pre-owned RVs at the best prices, no high-pressured salespeople, and treating customers with respect. And we've been doing this in the same location for over 40 years. Before you buy or sell your RV, see why so many satisfied customers recommend Jim Clark's Consignment Country. Family owned and operated at 1630 Rogue River Highway in Grants Pass.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Washington Watch with Tony Perkins. Every weeknight covering current events, issues of faith, family, and freedom. Tony is president of the FRC and your leading source for what's really happening in our nation's capital. Weeknights on the Dove TV. Come to the Dove's open house and see our brand new studios that you helped make happen. October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where this is the happening place. Yes, right here. This is where the world turns in and gets informed. Good morning. Jerry made it in this morning.
Yes.
3 miracles in a row.
Hey, it's chilly out there, but we made it.
Yeah,
Car fired up.
Okay, you were 38 at your house.
Yeah.
I was about 41.
Okay.
So it's a little chilly out there.
Yeah.
That makes, but I will say this. Have you noticed all of the undergrass is starting to turn green again?
I absolutely have. Funny you mentioned that because it's happening right now.
Okay, and then the leaves are turning orange and red and yellow, and they're just beautiful. I love this time of the year. And the harvesters are going. Some people are harvesting. You know, the vineyardists out there are trying to measure the sugar.
Yeah, local pears are coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's some good ones,
A lot of stuff going on out there. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. A lot in the news. Quite a day yesterday, a celebration of the Charlie Kirk Day at the White House. We have a little bit of that. And Portland, you gotta love it.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this story.
Keep it weird, Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You are.
This redefined the bumper sticker.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I'll
so
say.
we got one for you coming up a little bit later on. Good morning, what's up?
Well,
yeah.
I need it. It's National Esthetician Day, shining the spotlight on skin care professionals.
Really?
I need a facial, maybe a mud pack.
You just need to be ironed.
That's it. That's it. Oh, golly.
So does it include eyelashes?
You know, I don't know if that's included or not.
It's a big thing now. Everybody, a lot of these gals are getting their eyelashes, you know. In some cases, they're really nice. In some cases, you kind of go, what?
Yeah. Yeah, more than some cases, I think. I'm going to move on from that.
Yeah, please do. Okay.
It is Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day.
We have the best.
Yeah.
We have the biggest, most successful chamber in the state. Of all 36 counties, ours is the best. Eli Matthew and his team have done an excellent job. We're the biggest, we're the best, we're the most involved. We have the most things going on, and he was just awarded like the Chamber Leader of the Year for the entire world, I think. I know. It was a great honor.
All right.
Congratulations, Eli.
And they've been going for a long time. I didn't realize U.S. Chamber of Commerce has been in existence since 1912 after a proclamation signed by President William Howard Taft.
Yeah, the U.S. one can get a little interesting.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. So our local chambers of commerce, do they have some independence, and do they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, a good one like this one here fosters business and does good representation, not only at the legislature, but their main goal is to improve business environment, and they do a great job here.
All right. All right. Well, we have a couple things to eat.
By the way, call and join. If you're in Southern Oregon, you're not a part of the Medford Chamber, you're missing it.
All right. They need to give you an award.
They did one day.
Yeah. I love it. All right. It's National Cheese Curd Day. You can eat it straight and squeaky. It's got that interesting texture to it. And cheese curds, you know, I remember we used to do men's retreat over Camp Bradley over at the coast, and that was it. You go find the place with cheese curds and saltwater taffy, and that's what I would bring home.
Saltwater taffy.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Good stuff. Also, National Shawarma Day. Celebrating the Middle Eastern rotisserie method of cooking meats such as lamb, chicken, and beef, and the dishes that they make. Bursting with a marinade of Mediterranean herbs and spices, shawarma chicken or lamb slowly cooks on a vertical rotisserie spit. The tender meat is then thinly sliced, grilled, and added to a pita wrap with a variety of toppings. And what could be wrong with that? I like that little white sauce. I don't even know what's in it. It's like, but
well, it depends on the country you're in.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, all right. So they call them. How do you say it?
Shawarma.
Shawarma.
That's how I'm saying it.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Shawarma.
Better known as a Mediterranean taco.
In
Israel, they're called a falafel.
Okay.
And the first time I had one, I was over there. They just held the little tortilla, and they held it right up to this vertical roasting lamb, and they have this real, and it's pre-cut with all these lines in it. Have you ever seen how they pre-cut it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so when they bring the knife down, it just falls right into that.
Wonderful. Yes. And it's interesting you mentioned Mediterranean taco. A lot of cultures have versions of that. In Norwegians have a thing called lefse. My mom's a great lefse maker, and basically she refers to it as like a flopped flour tortilla. That's what, but it's made out of potatoes, of all things.
Well, they can be open. They can be rolled like a burrito, or what do they call them, a gyro? Or
a gyro, yeah, gyro, or gyro. Americans might say gyro. Gyro.
Okay.
Why put the G there if you're only going to pronounce the Y?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, wonderful.
Yeah, anyway.
Wonderful.
Enjoy your shawarma.
Shawarma.
All right, something we're not going to eat today, but I love to eat fish, but it's Hagfish Day. What some consider the ugliest of all fishes, it encourages us to look past the exterior and admire one of God's oddest creations. And we could call it a slime ball. It wouldn't be disrespectful because they can really produce the slime. When threatened, they secrete a thick, gelatinous slime stronger and more durable than nylon. It can suffocate or deter predators by clogging their gills. This slime can expand to over 100 times its original size, and I don't know if I want any part of it. Yeah, it looks like an eel, but it's not, and it's a slime ball. So you heard it here first.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be one of the things you ask God about when you get to heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, what do they call it?
Hagfish.
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 So the other thing I wanted to ask him was, why you allow mosquitoes to be invented?
Yeah, that's a good one. Now, hagfish, they're a bottom dweller. They eat all the, dead stuff that goes down there.
Oh, okay.
They keep the place clean.
Well, then you have to read the book of Leviticus.
Leviticus.
You wouldn't eat that fish.
I would. Yeah. Well, let me ask you. If you really needed a meal, can you eat it? I mean, if you really had to eat. I'm thinking of alone. I see people eat stuff on alone that you would never even consider.
Like snakes?
Yeah, and then they're trying to control their gag reflex. What a way to start the morning.
Some things Pepto-Bismol won't fix.
Okay.
All right.
I'm all done.
All right, good. Well, we'll just go with Mediterranean tacos right here with this guy doing the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure is bringing sunny days and cool nights, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, patchy frost and sunny in 66 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, sunny and near 65 in Salem, early patchy frost from Albany through Corvallis and Eugene, then clearing to sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s and a light west wind. Patchy frost this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 60 in Prineville and mid to upper 50s in Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers and patchy fog with a high near 59. Mostly sunny today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low to mid-60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, low 50s in Brookings and upper 50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny skies for the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin with daytime highs near 70 in Grants Pass, mid to upper 60s in Medford and Ashland, and low 60s in Klamath Falls with a low near 33. Into northern California, sunny with a high in the mid-60s in Wairika, cloudy through mid-morning, then gradual clearing for Redding, Chico, and Sacramento with daytime highs near 63 and a light and variable wind. In the Bay Area, patchy fog this morning in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid-60s, mostly sunny in mid-60s in San Francisco, and patchy fog then sunny in upper 60s in San Jose. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Here's a picture of Mount Ashland. Isn't that a beautiful shot?
It's gorgeous. Yeah, we lost a little bit of snow yesterday, disappeared, but still looking pretty good up there.
So I'm sending a tower crew to one of our tower sites.
Okay.
And I've been on this all summer. I said, the snow's coming, the snow's coming. Okay. And lo and behold, we're going to have to go in the snow.
Do they have four-wheel drive or chains?
Yeah, we have the vehicle for it. But the point being is that, and this has to do with parts. Delay. So finally everything's coming together, and we're sending a crew up to one of our tower sites, and wow, constant, absolutely constant.
Oh, by the way, down in Las Vegas, our newest zone, our newest area, you guys are going to look at sunny skies today and a high of about 68 and some pretty light winds.
Channel 6.
All in all, not bad.
In Las Vegas, tell your friends if you're down there. We're Channel 6 over the air. We're working on some other ways, but this is a miracle. Someday I'll share the story, how we got on Channel 6 in Las Vegas.
All right. Well, it's time now for Pastor Jack Graham as he takes a look at how trials shape our character.
Here's something really great about these manifold, these various trials, that word. The same word is used over in 1 Peter 4, verse 10. He's talking about spiritual gifts, but he mentions the manifold grace of God. 4:10 of 1 Peter. The manifold, multicolored, the various grace of God. So here's the point that I love to make. God has a grace for every grief. For every color of trial, there is a color of grace. And for every grace, there is a greater glory that is yet to come. So trials are inevitable, trials are individual, and trials then are instrumental. And we're going to park here for a while because trials teach us things. The curriculum of suffering and pain, this is where we learn so much. And so trials are instrumental in teaching us. They are instructive, in other words. So in what way? I've just listed some of the ways. I'll list them for you. God grows us through trial, especially our character and our Christian faith and development. Nothing develops character more than adversity in our lives.
True.
Yeah.
Not easy to go through.
No, as much as we'd like to avoid it.
Yeah, but God does never, he just doesn't waste anything.
Yeah.
There's no waste with God. All right, 11 minutes past the hour, top stories. First of all, let's take a look at what happened yesterday at the White House. A very special day. Why did the president zip over to the East, to the Middle East, go to Israel, go to Egypt, fly home all night long, get home in the middle of the night? Because he wanted to be at the White House to honor Charlie Cook. Yesterday was Charlie Cook's, would have been his 32nd birthday. And it was a tribute to him where his wife received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest civilian award that can be given. And the president presented it to her on behalf of her late husband. And she got up and gave another one of her most beautiful speeches. She's just an amazing lady. And so she gave a speech, all of this in honor of Charlie Cook. I was really impressed by the amount of people were there and who was there. Yeah. This is really significant. So anyway, Charlie Cook and Turning Point is, I'm telling you, something's happening here. I wish I could find the words to describe it. I can't. But I can tell you this, it has unleashed a movement. It has unleashed a spiritual wave in this country, and it's growing. It's not going away. Yeah. And the scripture that everybody quotes, actually, I guess it's God, because when he was shot, there was a period there about 3 hours. We didn't know if he was alive or not.
Right.
And but he died. And the scripture that came to my mind: unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit. And I would say within hours of Charlie Kirk's assassination, Turning Point, inquiries, interests, young people, young men, young women, everything. There's a turning in America. Pardon the pun, but there's a turning in America, a turning point in America.
True.
And it started. So, the other thing is, President was asked. Now we're day 2 of phase 2 of the 20-point peace plan in the Middle East. The hostages was stage 1. Stage 2 is the disarmament of Hamas. And Hamas is dragging their feet, so to speak, of releasing the bodies of dead hostages. They released 4, and come to find out, one of them wasn't a hostage. Yeah. By the way, they did that before. Remember last time?
Yes. Yeah.
This is very offensive, extremely offensive.
What are they thinking? You think they would learn? They can verify these things.
Well, I don't know. We don't know the mind of a death cult. But the president was asked yesterday, what happens if they don't disarm? And here's what the president said.
We're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you. But if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games. Okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do. Above all else, get the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. And it seems as though they don't have that because we're talking about a much lesser number. But that's a very tough subject. I want them back. That's what they said. I want them back. Also, they said they were going to disarm. But we have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes, you say
because
quickly.
you always, everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm. They will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm, or we will disarm them. Got it?
Pretty clear.
I would believe him. Yeah.
Well, look, he's a master for a negotiator, so he knows obviously a lot of things we don't know. But he said that they said that there was 2024, and now they're saying we don't know where they all are. Right. That in itself is a little bit of a violation because they led people to believe that they know where these bodies are. Now they're saying they don't, and now they don't want to disarm. So I don't know what the timeline is here, but be ready.
This reminds me, you know, obviously the left, I think, tends to underestimate this president. When he said he was going to get the hostages back, did you see one of the hosts of The View said that if he gets the hostages back, she'll wear a MAGA hat on the show.
She didn't do it.
Not yet. A lot of people are trying to hold her to it, but we'll see.
Well, look, it's an amazing accomplishment, and I don't know what's going to happen here, but I can't help but think that the intelligence of what we know about Hamas and the Middle East, the president has done a brilliant thing by taking all of the supporters of Hamas and silencing them in a peace agreement, which isolates Hamas to be removed if they don't go by the rules, go by the agreement. So it was a masterful move. Somebody says that President Trump, when negotiating, when he's doing the research on a deal, he said, what's the weakest point of the deal? And he goes after the weakest point to make it the strongest point.
Oh, interesting.
So what was the weakest point of the Middle East? It's all the supporters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Qatar, Syria, Turkey.
Yeah.
What's he do? He pulls all those guys into the room.
Sure, because a lot of that is funding. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Interesting.
All right, the other story, kind of in this vein, I bring the story to you because it's close, and that is that China now is going out of the way to do another additional crackdown on home churches. Over 30 pastors have been, and members have been detained. 20 of them now remain in custody. That was just a couple of days ago. Rumors are that they're really cracking down on home churches, house churches, and they're going after, guess what? The Christian church. People who read the Bible. And they are cracking down. Now, just remind ourselves that when Britain gave Hong Kong back to China, under the agreement, the first thing that China did was go in there and shut the churches down. And you remember there's a lot of protests. Where are those protesters now? They're in a concentration camp, even if they may be alive. We don't know. It's serious business. And anyway, they're cracking down on Christianity. Now, let me just say this. Our word for you today, devotional, and I sit on this board. In fact, we'll be going to the board meeting here shortly, but we print millions of these all over the world. Today, 11 million people read this in another form in China.
Wow.
We were in Beijing. Wow. We were printing it in Beijing and got caught. Okay, our interpreter, they raided his house and chased him all the way to the border and killed him at the border.
Wow.
And then his wife got out. This is several years ago. So that shut our operation down in Beijing. But I can tell you this, and I won't tell you how or anything, but it is back in China, but not necessarily in the province of Beijing. And 11 million people will read this today and then electronically share it with 2 other people. So it's possibly over 30 million people will read this devotional today in China. So this could be a problem because they know how to track things. And they have cameras everywhere.
Right, with facial recognition, they know who's going where,
This is serious as a heart attack stuff, and so pray for the believers in China because they are now under siege again.
Wow.
All right, 20 minutes past the hour on a beautiful fall Wednesday morning. We're going to take a Mediterranean taco break. That's what I'm calling it.
Okay,
we'll be right back.
The pain that you've been feeling, it can't compare to the joy that's coming. So hold on, you gotta wait for the light. Press on into
where big ideas grow.
The Dove's brand new studio is complete, and you've made it happen. To give you an in-person chance to see this important milestone, the Dove is hosting an open house Wednesday, October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m. at our studios. Hope to see you.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living. where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Welcome back. 22 minutes past the hour. A little backyard news, and when I saw this story yesterday, I told Alice, she does all of the pre-production of the morning show. God bless her little heart. I said, Alice, when you find video on this, be careful.
Yeah. Yes.
Be very, very careful.
I don't even want to know what she edited out.
Well, I saw some of it.
No.
But the only thing I can say is this, is, you know, Portland got a lot of problems, and they're waiting for the appellate court, the Ninth Circuit appellate court, to decide whether or not the lower district courts are going, which stopped the president through injunctions from sending the National Guard in to protect federal buildings and federal workers. Very controversial, and so we're waiting for that to see what the upper court, appeal court's going to say. In the meantime, what they've done in Portland is they'll do demonstrations during the daytime that are kind of peaceful. I mean, they're just partying and dancing and doing weird things. And then at night, the bad stuff happens.
Right.
And that's and you never see on the news the bad stuff that happens at night.
Oh, no.
And it's pretty bad. I mean, I can't even imagine if you work for the federal government and you have to go to a downtown office, do you really risk it?
Yeah.
The police has moved their police protection line away from the federal buildings just to kind of, I don't know, poke at the president.
Yeah, like exacerbate it. It's
so
just
during the peaceful time during the day, they came up with another form of demonstration, and for the life of me, I can't figure out what this is supposed to say. So yesterday, they decided to have a naked bike parade through Portland.
Yeah.
What does this mean?
Well,
now, and then it was raining, so they put clear plastic over them. Now, Alice did a good job of not showing you.
Thank you, Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that shot there's a lot of people just flat naked, bare naked, riding their bike. And then they did these little funny little cartoon things on the side so that it would entertain children. Can you tell me what this is all about?
There was a guy on a unicycle playing a bagpipe with a Darth Vader mask on. Oh, by the way, that's pretty much all he had on.
Well, I just don't. What's this supposed to accomplish?
I don't know. It's
now. I think what they should have done was funnel them all through a car wash. If you're going to ride your bike naked, all right, let's just take advantage of this and have the police gather them all up and run them through a car wash. Let them ride their bike through a car. Can you tell me what this is about? What's this mean? What does it accomplish?
Keeping it weird.
Anyway, that's what went on. All right, the other story about Oregon is this. As you know, we went from a $350 million ODOT shortfall in the budget. What did we do? We solved it with a $4.3 billion tax increase over 10 years. By the way, that's being pushed back with a referendum, and the petitions are distributed, but they're not ready. They'll be out here shortly, and puts it on the ballot to stop it. Well, in the meantime, the Democratic-led Oregon legislature is on track to spend $500 million more on a program that includes free health care for illegals. All right, now, this is called the Healthier Oregon Program, HOP. It budget currently, now guess what? This thing launched in 2022. In 2025, its budget increased 1,100%.
What?
Now, I don't know what to tell you, okay? Meanwhile, the Oregon police have a budget of just over $717 million, and they're going to give $500 million to illegal immigrants for health care. And they could have taken that and solved the ODOT problem and not raised it to $4.3 billion. I mean, this... Do I need to say anything else?
No, you hit it right on the nose. And of course, we're waiting for the governor to sign the latest tax increase.
So we can get busy with
So we can get petitions out so we can try and get this thing overturned. In the meantime, there is a movement right now to get the governor recalled. There are petitions being circulated. Is this something we should get involved in, do you think?
Well, look, this always happens.
Yeah.
I've yet to see a major recall of anybody of significance, but it does say something, and I think that her negatives are now skyrocketing. And I understand this recall petition is moving, and the referendum petition to stop the $4.3 billion tax increase will be available for people to sign almost any day now. And they need 77,000. We're going to go for 150, maybe more, just to make sure, and get it on the ballot. And that way, Oregonians can vote as to whether or not they really want to do this. I got a funny feeling she's going to lose this one on the ballot.
Interesting. Okay.
Because they couldn't even get it through on a normal session. It's so controversial.
True. Yeah.
And by the time it gets on the ballot, okay, it'll be during the midterm elections. And who wants to run for re-election voting for this kind of stuff? So it all could kind of go in the wrong way. Now, I will say this, don't underestimate Oregon and the 3 counties up north that are allowing people to ride their bike naked through town.
Yes.
I don't know. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street. Thank you, Preston, over at Smart Lawn. Thank you, Preston. You're a good dude, and if you're smart, you won't mow your lawn anymore. You'll call him. The Dow went back up again, 300 and almost 50 points at 46,618. Wow. The NAS jumped up 242. And S&P is up 62.5. So big numbers on Wall Street this morning. A lot of good things going on there. In the meantime, gold, look at that, $4,200. That's an all-time. Look at silver. Wow. Jumped to $51.24. And crude oil's up about a little less than $1, $62.48.
So is Wall Street not bothered by the shutdown?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, we see these gains happening, and
well, I think what you have a high, the next day a low.
Yeah.
So, guess what? There's a sell-off. People are making money on this. So today it's back up again. They'll sell by the end of the day. It'll be low tomorrow. So I don't know. The other thing you got to watch is the commodities market. That's kind of fun to watch. You know, the price of soybeans and alfalfa hay and corn.
All right, I'm just eating soybeans, and I'm keeping my eye on the moon.
The moon?
The moon, yeah. You know, remember we went to the moon? And then we left the moon and we didn't go back. So what are our current plans? Because we know the ultimate goal is Mars, and especially if you look at Elon's T-shirts, Occupy Mars. But U.S. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy spoke with Maria Bartiromo, and he revealed the Trump administration's plans to return to the moon, stay there, and build a permanent base.
And so if you don't win in space, if you cede space to your enemy, you are going to cede your future. It used to be he who controls the seas controls the world. Now it's he who controls space controls the world. We want to make sure we don't cede it to China. So we're in a race to the moon. We haven't been back in 54 years. We have a lot of partners who are helping us. We're a little bit behind right now, Maria. And I've come in and I said, you know what? We got to pick up the pace. We got to do better. We got to be better. We're not just paying you. We're paying you for results, American partners. And I feel very confident that in President Trump's term, we are going to get back to the moon. This time we're going to stay. Maria, it's important that you stay because what you learn on the moon, we can set up a base. We're going to learn a ton from being there. But what we learn is going to help us to get to Mars and beyond. And so, and again, by the way, it was NASA that made the investments that got us into lower Earth orbit. And it was from there that the private sector came in behind us and have had this amazing business that we see in lower Earth orbit in space. The same thing is going to happen with the moon, we think. We get there first, we make the investments at NASA, and then you get the private sector that comes in behind us. But the moon is critical also for national security.
So, would there be an MT tower up there?
MT, what's that?
Musk, Trump. Well, they team up, put a tower up there.
I don't know. That's a good question.
An MT tower up there.
Oh, man.
You know, beaming back. Back at us.
Oh, man.
Well, I guess that's cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, I understand it. And again...
How do you claim the moon? Can you claim it?
We have a flag. We have flags on there right now. It's ours, right? No. I don't...
I mean, can you claim it?
Who would dispute you?
Well, the guy with the bigger gun, I guess.
Yes. True. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I do know they're looking for ice.
Okay.
Not the enforcement
no,
ice.
I
They're
understand.
looking for real ice.
They're looking for real ice. Okay, well, there we go. We'll take a moon break.
Okay. Yeah, can you claim the moon?
I saw an opportunity to take the news and combine it with a Christian format. In listening to Christian media and radio, I thought, well, why should those people leave that radio station to go somewhere else to get informed, to get the weather and get the news, and then hopefully they'd come back during the day. So we created the format where we do a live 3-hour morning news talk inspirational show. It's a model that we've stuck with all these years.
The Dove Radio, 65 years.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. There are incredible nonprofits out there that accept cars just like me. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.
If you're a technician who wants to be part of something bigger,
or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle,
we would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle,
but take care of you.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Hey, good morning to you. Jerry Buildings here.
Yep.
Yeah, and by the way, won't be long, but we'll be able to put some lights over there so they can see the kitchen.
Oh.
You know,
yeah.
Where you will be making your Mediterranean
tacos.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
So I think it'd be cool to turn you loose in the kitchen and just see what you would do. And I've watched you make sandwiches.
Okay.
It's actually an art.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Especially when you make avocado toast.
Oh, I love that. Oh, man.
Yeah, so I just think we ought to do a segment where you're over there doing avocado toast and we're watching you.
Oh, yeah, we need more cooking here. Definitely.
Well, that's where we got that over.
I love it.
We got to light it up so you can see it.
All right.
All right, good morning to you. Well, it's a big day. Day 2 of phase 2 of the 20-point peace agreement, and it has to do with the disarmament of Hamas. That's not going so well, so let's check in with CBN News Watch.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Wednesday, the 15th of October. Going to begin this half hour with concerns about Hamas in the Middle East after the ceasefire deal has gone into effect. As President Donald Trump says Hamas had better disarm in Gaza or else. And Israel is delaying some actions in Gaza after Hamas is dragging its feet in returning the bodies of the hostages, a commitment that should have been completed by Monday. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us the story. She's reporting from Jerusalem.
President Trump is warning Hamas to lay down its weapons as they agreed to do in the ceasefire deal.
We have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm.
It comes as Hamas moves to retake parts of Gaza and is publicly executing its enemies. Meantime, Israel temporarily closed the Rafah crossing into Gaza. It's accusing Hamas of breaking the agreement by failing to turn over all 28 deceased hostages. Overnight, Hamas turned over 4 more bodies to the International Committee of the Red Cross, but forensics determined one body was not a hostage. That brings the total to just 7. Fabrizio Carboni of the International Committee of the Red Cross told CBN's Faith Nation how important it is for families to receive the remains.
It's not just a point in a peace agreement. It's something very important for the families, because if you don't have the mortal remain and the body, you can't grieve, and more importantly, you don't know, and you stay in a situation of ambiguous loss, and it's a permanent state of torture.
One of those still waiting is Ella Haimi. Her husband Tal died fighting terrorists invading their kibbutz on October 7th, and his body was taken to Gaza. She has 4 children, the youngest born after Tal was killed. She says her life is full of mixed emotions.
I'm very happy for other people, and I'm very sad for myself. We had the worst, that we lost Tal, but we have Lotan, the baby. So this is my life, happiness and sadness mixed together. This is my life. To be happy for the families I've been with for 2 years. I saw them fighting, and I'm glad for them.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah visited some of the hostages returned this week.
With the same determination, the same responsibility, the same seriousness, we are dealing with the return of the deceased. We will spare no effort and no means to return them.
Families of the 20 hostages that returned are speaking for the first time. Liran Berman thanked President Trump for the return of his twin brothers, Gali and Ziv.
For 738 days, our lives were trapped between hope and fear. Yesterday, that chapter ended. Seeing Gali and Ziv again, holding them after so long, was like feeling the world start to move again.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is joining us now to continue our coverage from there. So, Chris, what is the reaction there in Israel to President Trump's warning to Hamas to disarm? Could Israel strike Hamas again?
Well, first, Ephraim, yeah, they're glad to see that President Trump is very clearly telling Hamas that they promised to disarm, and he will make them disarm, even violently if necessary. Netanyahu told CBS News that if Hamas won't disarm, the military option remains on the table. So, yes, Israel could strike Hamas again, and they're prepared. They do still control 53% of the Gaza Strip. They're right positioned on what's called the yellow line. And so depending on the conditions, they could actually go back to Gaza City. It won't be easy, and it won't be probably mixed feelings here in Israel about actually going back and putting all the soldiers back in harm's way. It's been a relief for the last few days to have all of the living hostages mixed with some sadness, as we see in Julie's report. President Trump didn't give any specifics how he would disarm Hamas, but we'll see what happens in the next few days, how Hamas reacts, as well as the White House.
Here we go. So I don't know if there's a timeline. I don't know if there was a timeline on phase 2.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. All right, let's check out the weather and see what's happening out there. Pretty nice stuff.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. High pressure is bringing sunny days and cool nights, so today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, patchy frost and sunny in 66 in McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, sunny and near 65 in Salem, early patchy frost from Albany through Corvallis and Eugene, then clearing to sunny with daytime highs in the mid-60s and a light west wind. Patchy frost this morning across central Oregon, then sunny with daytime highs near 60 in Prineville and mid to upper 50s in Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, a chance of showers and patchy fog with a high near 59. Mostly sunny today along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the low to mid-60s for Coos Bay and Port Orford, low 50s in Brookings and upper 50s in Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny skies for the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin with daytime highs near 70 in Grants Pass, mid to upper 60s in Medford and Ashland, and low 60s in Klamath Falls with a low near 33. Into northern California, sunny with a high in the mid-60s in Wairika. Cloudy through mid-morning, then gradual clearing for Redding, Chico, and Sacramento with daytime highs near 63 and a light and variable wind. In the Bay Area, patchy fog this morning in Santa Rosa and Napa, then mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid-60s. Mostly sunny in mid-60s in San Francisco, and patchy fog, then sunny in upper 60s in San Jose. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, and look at that. Woo-hoo. From one end of the west coast to the other. So from Portland all the way down to look at that beautiful clear sky down there.
Beautiful. Sunny skies today. You're going to see a high of about 68 and the wind changing to the northwest this morning, about 6 to 10 miles per hour.
I just never thought in my wildest dreams that we would be doing weather in Las Vegas.
Absolutely not.
Well, we're on Channel 6 down there.
Yeah.
And so if you know people in and around that, 2.9 million people in the metro area down there.
Amazing. Yeah.
If you've never been down there, there's all the stuff that goes with Las Vegas, but the desert is beautiful. And you go out where the dam is and you go down around, so it's really quite nice.
At one point, Las Vegas was the fastest growing city in the United States. I don't know if they still are, but boy, 2.9 million, they grew.
Yeah, it's quite a place. So anyway,
all right, well,
we welcome our new viewers down there.
In the course of your public life, you have received lots of letters and texts and emails. Has anybody ever suggested anything like maybe changing your appearance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
As I said earlier, well, through the years, I mean, don't say this, don't wear that.
Right.
Why are you doing this? I like wearing sweaters.
Yeah.
We used to wear them on Fridays.
And we're going to do it again,
I think we should.
I hope.
'Tis the season,
Yeah,
right?
we have this beautiful new set. Will sweaters fit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right. Well, anyway, so we have our little wardrobe thing over here, which is made up of really cheap stuff. I mean, we do not have a network set up here. It ain't happening. But, so, I don't know, you got about 5 jackets over there, don't you?
Yeah, about 5 or 6, yeah.
Okay, so I only have 3.
Okay.
And this is one of them.
All right. I like that one.
Well, I get complaints wearing this one.
No.
So,
no.
And I got this on sale at some, I can't even remember where I got it. At the time I thought it looked kind of cool, but no.
I like it, and it gives me a chance to wear black when you wear that.
Yes, we tried it. Contrast. Sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we don't. Yeah. Sometimes.
So why do you ask us?
Sometimes we're like twins, DeVito and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out who's who.
You're Danny.
Okay, I'll take it. All right. Well, a future U.S. president did receive a suggestion in the mail about his appearance, and it happened on this day in history. It's one of the most famous beards in American history, and Abraham Lincoln almost didn't grow it. On October 15, 1860, just weeks before the presidential election, Lincoln received a letter from 11-year-old Grace Bedell of Westfield, New York. She admired his leadership, but thought his clean-shaven face could use a little improvement. Grace wrote, "If you would let your whiskers grow, you would look a great deal better. All the ladies like whiskers, and they would tease their husbands to vote for you." Lincoln took her advice, grew a beard, won the presidency, and a few months later stopped his train in Westfield to thank Grace in person. He stepped off the train and she stepped forward. They came together and he bent down to speak with her and said, "You see, I let these whiskers grow for you, Grace." He then gave her a handshake and a kiss on the forehead. All thanks to one young girl's honest suggestion, a beard that became an American icon. Okay, I have a question for you.
Wow.
Beards are really hip today. I mean, you see beards all over the place. Are they an advantage or a disadvantage for somebody running for public office?
Well, it's a great question. Most research that I read on this subject has a lot to do with presentation of a candidate.
Okay.
It's part of political science.
Yeah.
People, okay, yes, it goes down even to what you should wear and not wear when you're in certain situations and all that.
Okay.
But I would say men having bushy beards running for a public office is a negative.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, now don't get me wrong, we're in a weird time where, we elected guys like from Virginia, what's his name? The guy who wears sweatshirts all the time.
Oh, Fetterman.
Fetterman.
Yes.
So I guess, we've elected dogs to mayors, right? We've done it, and cats and things like that.
Yes.
But overall, it's a negative for campaigning.
All right. Well, I think the highest office we've seen achieved by a beard recently was Vice President of the United States.
Yes.
J.D. Vance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right.
All right, good morning to you. The Ronald Reagan Library, I've yet to go there. It's kind of on my bucket list. I'd like to go there. I want to see Air Force One.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Ronald Reagan Library put together this clip that would recognize the 100th birthday of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
This year we mark the centennial of Margaret Thatcher's birth. A leader of strong conviction and courage, she stood side by side with President Ronald Reagan during one of history's most defining chapters. Whether it was together on the world stage, at the White House at 10 Downing Street, or a visit to Camp David with President Reagan at the wheel of a golf cart, the Prime Minister and the President shaped global politics. Together they shared a deep belief in liberty, free enterprise, and the strength of democratic nations.
I think people saw them together and thought, these people are truly bonded in friendship, not just allies, not political allies, but a friendship that we share, this country shares with the UK, and really with like-minded people around the world, in the search for freedom, for democracy, for humanitarian rights. Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher probably will go down in history as one of the strongest alliances, personal and public alliances, that the world has ever known.
I very much wanted to come to the United States right at the beginning of my third term to underline once again the absolutely central importance to us of the United Kingdom-United States relationship. And I'm glad to report that it is as strong and as special today as it has ever been.
They were a formidable team, addressing Soviet aggression by solidly defending freedom around the world. Together they inspired millions, showing that leadership grounded in principle can change the course of history.
Now more than ever, we need American leadership, and your president is uniquely able to give it and will give it. We must not let slip the tremendous gains of the last few years. America and Europe together can secure that more stable and peaceful world, which has been our hope and our dream.
As we mark Margaret Thatcher's 100th birthday, we honor not only her leadership, but also the friendship she shared with President Reagan. Together, they reminded us that true alliances built on trust and shared purpose can shape history and change the world for the better.
Mr. President, may I thank you once again for your hospitality, for America's friendship and staunch leadership of the West, and for these constructive talks to chart the way ahead.
Here's to the Iron Lady and the Gipper, both of whom enjoy enduring legacies. Happy centennial, Margaret Thatcher. May your spirit continue to shine a positive light on the United Kingdom, the United States, and the world.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. You got to ask yourself, and of course the answer is a big yes, but you can see the providence of God.
Yep.
in world history and leadership by seeing that.
And wouldn't you love to hear her weigh in on the state of the United Kingdom today?
Yeah, and I would say it to all our UK friends, and I say this humbly, I really do, but you really need the United States' help right now.
True.
Because you're adrift in who you are. You've lost your moorings, and you need to get back to being the famous, great country that you are.
Right.
And get control of your culture over there, because it's really starting to tear you apart.
And it's on display, and I think especially this president has vowed not to let it happen here.
Yeah, this really is. Okay, good morning to you, and we'll take a quick break as we look for the...
Oh, yeah, it's a Mediterranean taco.
Yeah, but what's the other name?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Shawarma. Shawarma.
We all have questions about heaven. Many assume we can't know the answers, but nothing could be further from the truth. God's Word is full of detailed information about heaven if we only know where to look. Join Dr. David Jeremiah for his new series, The Promise of Heaven, as he uncovers the answers to your most pressing questions about your eternal home. On The Next Turning Point, here on this station.
Weekends on the Dove TV.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Faith isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be worn boldly, shared joyfully, and lived daily. At wearyourjesus.com, every piece isn't just clothing. It's a conversation starter. Whether at school, work, or your favorite hangout, your style can point to the hope of Jesus. Visit wearyourjesus.com today and be bold in your faith. And for a limited time, use the discount code below at checkout to save big. That's wearyourjesus.com. Wear it, live it, share it.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital Base Intervention Grant.
All right, 7 minutes before the hour. Of course, the Middle East has captivated news, and now, in the meantime, things with the Ukraine war between Russia and Putin is still very contentious. I had Jeffrey Gilson on. Now, actually, he was a speechwriter for Margaret Thatcher, and he wrote a book called Maggie's Hammer. You ought to read it. You talk about history.
What a great title.
Yeah, called Maggie's Hammer.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were chit-chatting yesterday, and I said, what do you think's going on with Putin and Zelensky? And he made a comment. He said, I think Putin now has reached a point where he doesn't want to win the war. Here's what he had to say.
As far as Donald Trump is concerned, bless his heart, I have this expression I've learned since I've been in America, bless his heart. I think he knows full well that Ukraine is not going to win. In fact, Perry, over the last few months, what military analysts of varying political hues have been saying is, look, Putin is winning. Russia is winning, as unsophisticated as their military may be. And if they continue as they are, by next spring, they may well have won. But here's the thing. Russia, in my opinion, no longer wants to win. It doesn't want all of Ukraine. Ukraine is destroyed. Plus, it knows that what little credibility it has left in the world will disappear if it pushes its advantage now. In a sense, Putin is having to hold back so as not to win. However, he cannot be seen to be defeated because his own military would throw him out. But you're absolutely right. The Russian military has not been shown to be the turbocharged edifice everybody thought it was. And this is why I think Europe privately is a lot less frightened than it pretends to be. And this is why I think Putin wants the fighting to end, because it's showing him and his military leaders up.
Okay.
I think Putin wants an end to this. He wants to be doing business again with the United States.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's his opinion. He did say something else, and right now I think it's not on the table. But as you know, President Trump came back and told Putin it's time for Ukraine to take all its land back that they won in the war.
Right.
He's saying no, that'll end up being the bargaining chip, and they can keep it. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think there's something else going on here. So anyway,
there must be something else. I've never heard that. An opinion that Putin may not want to win this war.
Well, he's crossed so many lines, and now he's going to suffer economically. And so he may be looking for a way out.
All right.
Okay. All right, take with you 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 20. This is a very familiar one. It says, "For you were bought at a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." When you were born again, that's the part of you that was born again. And there is the Raiders Stadium if they ever decide to win a football game again.
Big ideas grow.
The Dove's brand new studio is complete, and you've made it happen. To give you an in-person chance to see this important milestone, the Dove is hosting an open house Wednesday, October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m. at our studios. Hope to see you.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Men of Southern Oregon, we are thrilled to announce that our next Game Changers, we are bringing in author and speaker Lee Strobel. If you're not familiar with Lee Strobel, he wrote The Case for Faith, The Case for Christ. He is the man behind the movie The Case for Christ, and he's got a new book out called Seeing the Supernatural. Recently, he's been featured on The Sean Ryan Show. He's been featured on Tucker Carlson. A lot of his books address big questions that believers have, and even the unbelieving world, about heaven, about Jesus. Can we trust the resurrection? He was formerly an atheist, and through his research, he came to the faith. I'm super excited for you guys to experience Game Changers at Edgewater Christian Fellowship with Lee Strobel. Get signed up. It's November 2nd, 6 p.m. God bless you guys.
30 seconds or less. That's the length of a soundbite in a typical news story. If you're lucky, you can't really learn much in 30 seconds. It takes time to ask questions, learn, and explore the facts to really understand. Focus Today on the Dove TV and Radio does just that. We give you an hour covering several issues and newsmakers in depth. So don't settle for quick sound bites. Get to the heart of a story and understand better. Focus Today, weekdays on the Dove TV and Radio. Come to the Dove's open house and see our brand new studios that you helped make happen. October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and so timely and always honored when we have time to sit down with Dr. Adam Rasmussen. He is a fellow there at the Cultural Research Center and associate professor of humanities at Arizona Christian University. Dr. Rasmussen draws upon 25 years of experience in Christian education to inspire students to thrive under the lordship of Christ in all aspects of their lives. His research interest includes biblical literacy, educational ministry, and Christian apologetics. And you can go to the website culturalresearchcenter.org. And there's a picture of that landing page, which is an amazing resource for you. Check it out, culturalresearchcenter.org. Dr. Rasmussen, good to see you, friend. How are you?
Hi, Perry. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, well, it's an honor. It's an honor. I was looking at our subject today, and my brain's on tilt because I just got through reading 3 different authors, well-known, C.S. Lewis, Charles Spurgeon, and then I'm finished reading a book with the late Henry Blackaby. And it all deals with the subject of holiness. I don't know why I got onto this, but I started reading and like it all. And then I find out today that your research shows now that millions of American Christians no longer see themselves as sinners. Whoa. What's happened to us?
They need to be reading the books you're reading.
Well, I don't know. I was just glancing through all 3 of them, and I got kind of hooked on this topic. But, man, I'm just kind of, my brain's on tilt. Do we really think this?
84% of Americans know that sin exists, but they're confused about it. So 52% of Americans would say that they themselves are sinners, and only about half would say that moral absolutes exist. So we can use the term sin and we can talk about it, but sometimes people have a different opinion and they're not really getting that from the Bible or from great theological texts like the ones you're talking about that are based on the Bible. So there's a lot of confusion, and I'm glad we're talking about it today.
Were you surprised with these numbers?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I can share a number I was surprised at.
Okay.
In 2019, there was a study on sermons in the United States, and that what they found was only 3% of the sermons mentioned sin.
So, another product of this lack of teaching about sin would be the loss of the fear of God, right?
Exactly. I mean, the fear of God, you were talking about his holiness and the fact that he loves us, but he's also holy. And it says in 1 Timothy chapter 1 that Jesus Christ came to save sinners. And that was his purpose. Jesus said, if you don't think you're a sinner, you are blind. That is John chapter 9. And in 1 John chapter 1, it says, if we say we don't have sin, we're deceiving ourselves. So we can say we're Christian, okay, but we're not defining that according to what God says in the Bible about sin. And as you mentioned, we've missed God's nature as holy. We've missed our nature as being made in his image, yet fallen. And the rest of the problems we're seeing in the world kind of stem from this false view of humanity. And that's what we're talking about today.
So if a Christian doesn't see themselves as a sinner, or Americans don't see themselves as sinners, then what do they think sin is?
Well, as I mentioned, some of them see it as disobedience to God. They also might see it as something that's wrong, just in a vague way. And these ideas are more flattering than logical, and they're more culturally sensitive than biblical. And so I think they're really confused. And somehow they know that there's something wrong, but they don't square it with the nature of God or what he has said in his word. So it really flexes and changes. It's not consistent. And Perry, if you go back to our study that we did, number 6 of this year in May, what we found is that the idea of moral absolutes has pretty much vanished. Because there are different religions, or because people's opinions about what is right and wrong change over time, people would say that moral absolutes don't exist. 50% of Americans, and many people who are self-identified Christians. So because they don't accept moral absolutes as written in Scripture, they look around in the rest of the world and they see things changing. So they still borrow the word sin, but they don't as we've talked about, match that against God's holiness or his word, but they're still using that word, sin.
Okay. What I read last night in Blackaby's book was, it's so interesting. All this is coming together today, but there is God's view of sin and then man's view of sin. And if we've lost the fear of God, we'll never understand his view of sin, which bears great consequences if we don't deal with it.
That's so true, Perry. I think sin has consequences in this life, and we can see that by sin separating. So sin separates us from having a great relationship with our Creator. It separates us from having a great relationship with each other as human beings, with our environment, and even within the self. I mean, how many times have you said, or how many times have we said to ourselves, oh my, I can't even live up to my own moral standards. There's a disconnection here in this life. So sin has consequences in this life. And what's really scary is that sin has eternal consequences. And that is something that people don't want to talk about. But it's true. That's why Jesus came. He came that we would not perish, but have eternal life. And sin has that eternal consequences of separation from God for eternity. And that's why Jesus came. He came to seek and to save that which was lost in Luke chapter 19, verse 10. And he came to seek and save sinners and to save you and me and your listeners. So we have great news if we can understand sin properly, because Jesus came to take care of that problem at the cross.
If we don't see ourselves as sinners, then are we blocking the transcendence of God in our life?
We are. And Perry, you and I have talked about the transcendence of God, that he is infinite and personal, as Francis Schaeffer said. He's the infinite personal God. And I think what Americans are used to is more something called moral therapeutic deism. And what this is the idea that God created the world and he wants us to be basically good, and he helps us when we're in trouble, but he leaves us alone, kind of a deist idea. But the Bible teaches that eternal life is to know God, to have a relationship with God. And you can't really have a relationship with God until that sin problem is dealt with according to his standard. And there's one way, and that is by faith in Jesus. Mm-hmm. So if you want to have a relationship, a love relationship with God, one that knows your name, he knows the day you were born, he knows the spiritual temperature of your heart, that God is available, the one true living God, to anyone who will receive Jesus. And if we don't understand salvation according to God, we're not going to have that personal relationship with God through his son, Jesus.
Do you think it's possible, Dr. Rasmussen, if the group that doesn't see themselves as sinners actually do see themselves as sinners and they don't want to change?
That sounds like Romans chapter 1 to me, Perry. And right?
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are guilty of this too. We would rather not deal with the truth. We'd rather suppress it and keep living our own lives. But it reminds me of this phrase that G.K. Chesterton famously wrote in 1910. They asked, a newspaper said, tell us what's wrong with the world. And G.K. Chesterton in 1910 wrote in and he said, dear sirs, I am. What's the problem? I am. And to understand our own fallenness and to be able to own that and to say, God has told me, I don't have to look anywhere else. God has told me in the scripture that all have sinned, including me, and he loves us and he wants to rescue us from that when we put our trust in Jesus. And that's what we need to get back to. And so when people, they have kind of this guilt, this shame, they have an understanding that something is wrong, but the Bible says there's a difference between worldly repentance and godly repentance. So you can repent like the rest of the world and just kind of deal with it in maybe the symptoms of it a little bit, try to mitigate the symptoms. But if you want to get the root of the problem, it's your relationship with God, and it needs to be repaired. And God sent his son to do that. So maybe people are starting to consider, maybe I am a sinner. Maybe I need to deal with that.
Oh, gosh, there's so much here. Is it possible, if we don't fix this problem, respectfully, that we're blocking true revival?
Well, yes, absolutely. When you look at revivals, when you look at people coming to faith for the first time, it is always, without fail, due to the Spirit of God meeting the Word of God in the hearts of the people of God. And when we are not proclaiming the biblical message of sin and then Jesus as the only remedy, we are blocking that revival you're talking about. And so we can't force God's hand. We are not the Holy Spirit. We cannot send the fire, but we can prepare the firewood. We can prepare the kindling. We can say, "Oh Lord, please bring revival." And the way we do that is by speaking the message of the gospel to the church. Yes, the gospel message, and through the whole of Scripture. So as we bring Scripture to bear, we have to be bringing the truth. And I just don't know how we can be speaking the truth if only 3% of our sermons even mention the word sin or transgression. I just don't understand how we could expect God to move in power in our churches if we refuse to use his word, the gospel. And in the gospel, Jesus said, "Repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand." How can you repent if you don't know that you're a sinner? So these are important things. I mean, good old Billy Graham in his messages made that very clear all across America, revivals and his campaigns. And it's the good old message that's gone all the way back to the Apostle Paul and Jesus himself and all the apostles.
Wow. Is there, there seems to be a spiritual movement going on in America, and a lot of this recently was provoked from the Charlie Kirk assassination. The numbers out there are kind of interesting, but I'm trying to draw a distinction from a genuine, real, true revival versus an awakening. And the reason I do that, because if we're not going to deal with sin, then we're kind of fooling ourselves.
Yeah, church attendance, church giving is not really the measure. God did not send Jesus to have those numbers necessarily, but to have disciples. And a disciple is a lifelong learner of Jesus. And he said that at the end of Matthew, "Go into all the world and make disciples," lifelong learners, baptizing them and then teaching them. And so I think you and I talked about the Trinity, Father, Son, and Spirit. There's a lot to learn. So these spikes in Bible sales, I was talking to a friend that's at Thomas Nelson about Bible sales, and Christian literature really spiked in the days and weeks after the assassination or the murder of Charlie Kirk. And that's a good thing. Those are good things. But as you're mentioning, a long-term revival and people coming to the faith and growing in Jesus Christ, let's see. I want to be a part of that. And we do at Arizona Christian University. That is why we exist, is to glorify God by raising up young men and women that will be leaders of influence in culture. And we want to do that. And it's just one of those things that's going to take some time to see.
All right, let me take a quick break here. This is so fascinating. Again, Dr. Rasmussen, fellow there at the Cultural Research Center and associate professor of humanities at Arizona Christian University. The website is Cultural Research Center, all one word, .org. There's the picture of the landing page, very resourceful. And our good friend Dr. Barner, part of all that. So check it out. We'll be right back.
I have been at the Dove for 23 years, but actually 24, because I started on the Dove with a little syndicated worship program that I did for about a year before I was asked to come on the air. So 23 years on the Dove itself, as far as working for the Dove, and 24 years total. My, how time flies.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you today. I don't want to pray just when I need something or when things aren't going my way. I need you all the time, no matter what is going on, and I just want to say thank you. Even though things aren't perfect, you are, and your plan for me is. Thank you for your grace, for your mercy, for your unconditional love for me, and most of all, thank you for sending your Son Jesus to die for my sins to prove that unconditional love. That even while I was a sinner, he died for me. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Twin Factor is brought to you on the Dove TV by Black Flag Armory. Firearms, gunsmithing, training, and the best prices in Southern Oregon. Twin Factor, weekends on the Dove TV.
Welcome back. Always an honor to have with us Dr. Adam Rasmussen. He's a fellow there at the Cultural Research Center and associate professor of humanities there at Arizona Christian University. Again, the website is culturalresearchcenter.org. There's the picture of the landing page. We're talking about some recent research study that shows that millions of American Christians no longer see themselves as sinners. This is staggering information. Only 14% of Christians hold a biblical worldview of sin. Gosh, you know what's interesting about this, and as I told you earlier, my brain's kind of on tilt from stuff I'm reading, but I did get into Psalm 51 where David was doing his ultimate confession and repentance. And there's a term in there, he says, during that prayer, he says, "Against you, Lord, alone have I sinned." And I'm paraphrasing that. The point being is, when people sin, do they think that God sees it? I mean, it's not as if God isn't there when they're sinning.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you that when David said, "Against only you I have sinned, Lord," of course he sinned against Bathsheba and Uriah and others. Mm-hmm. Against the whole nation of Israel he sinned. But super and above that, his awareness was the Creator God. And I think that is a biblically informed viewpoint that is true. When you and I sin, whether it's a little picadillo, a little sin, or something that's ginormous in our eyes, it's all sin to a holy God. And we need to be aware of that. It's a good reminder. Thank you for reminding me today from Psalm 51 that God sees all. I remember R.C. Sproul had this phrase that it wasn't his, but he always talked about living coram Deo, before the face of God. Mm. Isn't that a wonderful phrase? Mm. Like, we are to live as if we're reminded that God is right here in the room with us. Mm-hmm. He is everywhere present, and we need to live before his face, coram Deo. And so it's very important when you do your wonderful television show that you remember the audience of one, that above all, you want to please God, and myself included. Anytime I'm speaking, I need to remember God is in the audience. And then, of course, as we're talking today, when we sin, we need to be mindful of the gospel, that God is right there to forgive us, that he loves us because of Jesus. And we should be careful to live circumspectly, the scripture says, like looking around and trying to say, how can I live to the best every moment of every day before the face of God? And to know that I don't have to wait long for forgiveness. As soon as I repent, and I ask God for forgiveness, that is granted, and the cleansing comes, and then I need to make reparations, if possible, on what I've done wrong. And I think when we have those tender hearts, not just to one another, but ultimately before God, that you and I are better people because we are living as if we want to please a holy God that loves us so much that he sent his son Jesus. I think that's truly living.
That's beautiful because when I was reviewing Psalm 51, that verse, that one line stuck out to me. I thought, well, to your point you just said, when we are sinning, God's presence is there. He sees it. He's in the room with us. And if that doesn't send a chill down our back, or at least prevent us from going too far, and if we're only getting 3% of the pulpits preaching about sin, then clearly holiness of God is not present in some of these sermons.
That's right. Yeah, we have to understand that God is the holy judge of the universe, and we miss that. And as a Christian, I know that that holy judge of the universe is also my adopted father. Like, because of Jesus, I am his son forever, and I'm part of his forever family. But it never, ever eradicates the fact that he still is holy. And as Christians, because he is holy, he calls us to be holy. That's all through the Bible, in the Old and the New Testament. And Jesus, even on the Sermon on the Mount, said, be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Now, of course, I can never do that, and you can never do that apart from the work of the Holy Spirit and the sanctifying and justifying work of God. Yet he calls us through sanctification to keep pursuing that life. And hopefully, I'm not where I used to be, but I'm not where I will be. And over time, life should look more and more like Jesus. And then we get to enjoy that for all eternity. God isn't going to lower his standards because we're Christian. He wants us to live up to those standards by his grace. So it's like Augustine said, command what you will and then give what you command, right? So we're to love our enemies. We're to pray for those who persecute us. There's just no way to do that. C.S. Lewis, you mentioned, in Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis basically said it is impossible to live the Christian life. There's only one person that can do that, and it is Christ himself, and he lives it through us.
Let me ask you this. What can you say, you guys have to come to me, we lost this video there. What can you say to, say, parents, pastors, influencers, on what they can do to restore biblical understanding of sin? Did we lose them entirely? I guess we did. Okay. Come to me, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Every once in a while, our system drops out. Okay, sorry about that. I apologize. Kind of frustrating, but that's what happens sometimes. Let me just say this. The cultural, are you back? No. The Cultural Research Center, .org is the website, and as you know, part of this was all founded by Dr. George Barna, and he's still a part of that, but primarily was founded under him, but they continue to do this, and we have him on the air. But the only thing I can say about the Cultural Research Center, which is a part of the Arizona Christian University, is an amazing school within this university. And they do a great job. So you can go to culturalresearchcenter.org and check it out. And of course, as Dr. Rasmussen has said earlier, the recent studies that they have done through the Research Center shows that millions of American Christians no longer see themselves as sinners. I have to say, folks, this is an alarming report. And we need to evaluate this and take these research data and ask ourselves a lot of questions. Now, it's easy to point fingers, but I think the term of sin has to be dealt with personally. When's the last time, rhetorical question, but I think it fits here, when's the last time God convicted you of something to the point where you not only repented of it, you stopped doing it? Temptation is a big deal out there in all areas of our lives. All sin falls into three categories. It's either the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, or the pride of life. You can take all sin and it'll fit into one of those three areas. And But the question is, when have you become convicted of something that God's trying to talk to you about? It could be something major. It also could be something very minor that he just wants you to stop doing, primarily to teach you that he's still trying to communicate with you and to lead you in another direction. Let me encourage you to deal with the term of solitude. Solitude is where you get alone with God. The scripture says, be still and know. So that comes back to another basic question. When's the last time you literally felt, knew, experienced God talking to you about something in your life? I think the only way you can hear that voice is to get alone. Take a long walk alone. Get alone. Sit in a chair with everything turned on alone, so you can hear that still small voice. But it could be that God is saying to you, you need to change some things. They're not the best for your life, and they're against my will for your life. Check it out. If we have only 14% of Christians have a worldview of sin, we have a problem. And I have to say this, I really question this. I'm not an authority in this by any means. But I have to question, can true revival come if we've lost the conviction of what sin is all about? We can have a good time in worship, and we can have great entertainment, we can have great songs, and we can have great sermons, but if there is no repentance, I doubt that there's true revival, because revival deals with repentance. It hinges on repentance. And if we really want revival, it has to start with us. Are we clean before the Lord? Easy said, hard to do. But check it out. Anyway, culturalresearchcenter.org is their website. Again, very resourceful. Check out the university. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The Dove's brand new studio is complete, and you've made it happen. To give you an in-person chance to see this important milestone, the Dove is hosting an open house Wednesday, October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m. at our studios. Hope to see you.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Okay, welcome back. And very timely. Are we on? Okay, I had some technical problems. I apologize for that. We're still getting some bugs worked out of our new setup here, so I apologize for that. Always an honor, always a delight to sit down with our good friend Dan Perkins. You never know what he's going to say, but we're here to straighten it out. He's a political commentator. He's also the author of What's on My Mind podcast, historical romance titled Sad Eyes. It's a series. He has a couple places to go to, danperkins.guru, or you can go to songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us, which is an amazing outreach to veterans. So always an honor to have with us our good friend Dan Perkins. There he is. How you doing, buddy?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself, you got a new set?
I'm doing great. We had some technical issues, but life's technical.
Yeah, I understand.
Good to see you. All right, so much to talk to you about, so little time. Let's get into it. The big deal. The hostages are home. They're now day 2 of phase 2, and the president said, if you don't disarm, we're going to disarm you. What's the Dan Perkins interpretation?
Well, that's a very important point that you're raising as far as I'm concerned, because on day 1, Hamas executed people who were considering running against them in a free election in Gaza. They were killing their own people to try and keep them in control. Now, as I understand the terms and the conditions of this, that nations from around the world, as far away as Indonesia, are going to send in peacekeeping forces in Gaza to try and deal with this. So the sooner we get troops in there, the sooner we can get control of Gaza. But clearly the president is not going to put up with any shenanigans. And when he says, if you don't drop them, we're going to go come get them, I believe they will.
Okay. Is there a timeline on this? Because they were supposed to also return 24 bodies. They returned 4, and one of them wasn't even a hostage. We've seen this before. Quite frankly, that's about as offensive as you can get.
I want to answer your question, but I want to say to you and to your audience, before I answer the question, I want you to understand that what I'm about to say is based on experience and talking to people around the globe who have been in situations where they have negotiated with Muslims. The Quran differentiates a Muslim and me and you. In the Quran, we are considered infidels. And under the terms of the Quran, under an area called Sharia law, when an infidel is in negotiations with a Muslim can lie, cheat, steal, and never keep a promise and be perfectly acceptable under Sharia law and the Quran. So I have said for years, one of the difficulties in trying to successfully negotiate with Muslims is you cannot trust them. And I remind your listeners of Ronald Reagan when he was dealing with Gorbachev. Trust but verify. This situation is going to be very tenuous because the Muslims are looking at people who are not Muslims. They'll tell them whatever they want to hear and then do whatever they want to do. So it's going to be a very difficult time, very frustrating for Westerners who are non-Muslims in trying to understand how to deal with Muslims who are in power in Gaza.
So, given that, Dan, do we need to have a reality check that at the end of the day, this death cult called Hamas has no intentions of changing?
I think that's a very astute observation. However, I do have hope because the one thing that has been done, or one of the things that has been done, I should say, that's different this time around, is that Trump has convinced other Muslim nations within the Middle East that, and I know you've heard this a million times, it's all about the Benjamins. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump is already talking about getting billions, if not trillions, of redevelopment money from those people who were behind and supporting him in this negotiation. And I think the idea of rebirth and regeneration and redevelopment of Gaza is a powerful, powerful force that will have significant impact on what the Hamas is going to do.
Okay, and him pulling together the other Middle East countries, even Shiites and Sunnis together to sign anything is pretty remarkable.
Yes. Yes.
With the goal in mind, let's redevelop Gaza. I get that. And at the same point, saying to those countries that were supporting Hamas, like Qatar, Syria, Turkey, stop it.
Right.
Hamas, on the other hand, may have a hard time thinking that they literally were pawns in those countries' hands, and their supporters have given up on them. And they are the mindset, you die to advance what you want. So we could see some bloody days ahead before this is cleaned up.
I won't argue that point with you, but what I will tell you is that one of the things that drives, and I'm not trying to come back to the Benjamins again, but one of the things that drives what Hamas does is their ability to get money to buy their weapons and pay their soldiers and do all of that. It's important for your audience to know that West Texas Intermediate crude hit $57 a barrel yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's up a little bit today, but hit 57, broke 60. And Brent crude is hovering around 60. As the oil prices have come down, these countries like Russia and like Iran, who are totally dependent upon the sale of crude oil, are seeing their treasuries being depleted so that the resources in play to fund Hamas aren't there. And if it continues to go down, will get worse and worse.
I want to ask you another question about this deal. It's so amazing.
Sure.
And that is how he went to all the other countries and put together this deal, and he ends up signing it in Egypt, which is kind of interesting because Egypt is also complicit to Hamas by allowing the tunnels. But the point being is he pulls all these people together to sign a peace agreement.
Right.
This is beyond historic. I'm trying to figure out the mind of the negotiator. It's been said that when President Trump or Donald Trump, the developer, sees a problem, the first thing he zeroes in on is the weakest link. And he kind of did that. He went to all the countries where they're direct enemies of everything and pulled them together. What's your take?
Well, I think that what you're saying is true, but I also think that the turning point in the deal was when the Israelis went after Hamas in Qatar and bombed a building. And it really made Mr. Trump angry. And he was not happy. And I'm sure he took Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu to the woodshed and said, we're not, if you want us, we're not going to tolerate this. So that the reaction of the president to the bombing in Qatar created a catalyst for Benjamin Netanyahu to be more accommodative to what Trump wanted to do. And when that happened, the Arab nations saw that in dealing with Trump, you had an individual who was incredibly strong compared to the weak sister of Joe Biden, and that Trump's got 3.5 more years. They could be in a lot of trouble if they don't play ball, and they decided to play ball.
So do you think at the end, before I change topics here, do you think at the end Hamas disarms or they'll be forced to?
I think there's going to be some trouble. And some people on the left will, at anything, the left will jump on and say, it blew up, Trump failed. Because they're running out of things to talk about and blame him on. But I think that the nuclear attack, the attack on the nuclear facility of Iran, took a lot of pressure off of the rest of the Middle Eastern nations because they knew that Iran didn't have the ability. They had it, but then they lost it to produce nuclear weapons and use them as threat, as terrorists against those other nations.
Okay. Let me switch gears on you just for a moment here,
Sure.
Dan. I want to go over to Putin and Ukraine. As you know, Zelensky's coming to the White House on Friday. The president is now supplying intelligence and missiles to Ukraine. They're hitting energy targets inside Russia. It's been said that Russia may be looking for a nice way out of this because their economy is starting to collapse because they haven't been able to succeed. The president has said that Ukraine should take back the land that Russia has gained in this deal. Others have said, no, that will become the bargaining chip to maybe solve the problem. I realize this thing's full of a lot of details, but I'm trying to stay at 30,000 feet. What do you think?
I think that what I said earlier in the program about West Texas Intermediate and Brent crude prices falling below support levels, that impacts Russia dramatically because they are, as somebody once quoted, Russia is a gas station with nuclear weapons. That's what Russia is. And so with the gas station not being able to pump gas, the revenue that comes into the treasury of that country is being diminished and siphoned off by some of the oligarchs, so that the Russian people are suffering because the government is running out of money, and they spent trillions of dollars in trying to win the battle in Ukraine. So I really think that things are collapsing around Putin, and I think that one of the settlement, I know this is going to sound like it's off the deep end, but that's nothing new for me, but I think one of the things that could happen here is that Trump is supposed to be meeting with Xi sometime towards the end of this month. And he's now got 130% tariff on anything coming from China, and it ain't coming. And if it isn't coming, then we are their largest trading partner. They made a play. They tried a power play by saying that they were going to impact and increase the tariffs on rare earth minerals that are used in so much of the stuff that we manufacture in the United States. However, we are now developing massive resources our own right in the United States, and we've got this deal signed with Ukraine to start exporting from Ukraine the rare earth. So I think what's going to happen is very possibly that Trump is going to say to Xi, look, I'll tell you where you can put your rare earth minerals. What you're going to run into is a problem that Russia's not going to be able to supply you oil. And he'll say, we'll supply you oil under these conditions. And you take that oil, the largest oil trading partner for Russia is China. You take that away from Russia, they're in serious trouble. So I would think that Putin would be very, very nervous about this upcoming meeting between Xi and Trump.
So you think that the rare earth minerals, that the deal they made inside Ukraine could preempt the need of rare earth minerals from China?
In addition to what we've discovered recently in our own country.
Okay, that makes total sense. In the meantime, he's now looking at India, is putting pressure on India from buying oil from Russia. How does he go about that?
What's going on is that India has been buying multiples of what they have normally been exporting or importing from China, because Russia has convinced India to be a broker for them. They buy the oil crude oil from Russia, and they turn around and sell it in other countries and split some of the profits with Russia, so that Trump is saying, if you're going to continue to do that, we're going to change our tariffs. And I don't think that India, its economy, which while it's got 1.4 billion people, its economy is still very rural in nature, and any disruption of any revenue sources would be devastating for India. So I think they'll capitulate.
One other quick question before I take a break. In the meantime, there would be another incentive to get this war ended so that Ukraine could go ahead with its elections, which means Zelensky most likely would be out, and a new leader.
Based on the polling data, they don't want him back. It's like Churchill at the end of World War II. the English people loved him during the war. But soon as the war was going, get that sucker out of here.
Okay.
And that's what's going on. They respect Lizinski for what he was doing during the war, and he had the legislation passed that you can't fire me while we're at war. But as soon as the war is over, general elections, he's toast.
And then Ukraine gets a leader, whoever that might be more manageable with President Trump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're right.
All right. Let me take a quick break. DanPerkins.guru, that's one of his websites. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us, where he has an amazing ministry outreach to veterans. Outstanding. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I started in radio because I was a worship musician. When I came in as a fill-in for the current afternoon DJ, I had no clue what the equipment did or how it worked or anything like that, because I was producing a program on the computer. I got my feet wet doing the afternoon show on KDove Radio, and Perry had patience and stuck with me.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years.
We were on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and the boat is sinking.
And as soon as we saw that water rushing onto the boat, it flipped. I don't know how to swim at all. And my wife and kids don't know how to swim either. I'm sinking. I'm drowning. I'm swallowing all the water. I was at the verge of giving up. That's when I heard a voice tell me, don't panic.
Watch the 700 Club Wednesday morning at 11 on the Dove TV.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Okay, welcome back. Always a delight to have with us Dan Perkins. A couple of websites, danperkins.guru is his personal website, and then the other one that he has for an outreach to veterans, songs and stories for soldiers.us. And there's a landing page of those. Dan, let's come back from geopolitical, come to home, and the government's shut down now, going on 12, 13 days. This is kind of interesting. I'm surprised to see that even the legacy media is beginning to realize this is the tenacity of Senator Schumer, and it could be fixed, but he ain't budging. Senator Kennedy has said that Senator Schumer behind the scenes is telling some of those Democrats, go ahead and vote for opening the government. I'm going to have to go out in the public and say bad things about you, but we'll all get together in the end and keep moving the ball down the road. I don't know. It sounds plausible. What do you think?
You know, I think actually before the election, what would happen if we had a problem?
Yeah, we got a lot of problems. Keep talking, though.
Okay. So I wrote what's going to happen if we run into a government shutdown, and I said, I believe that Trump will use the reduction in force provisions of the employment contract with its government employees to start cutting back on personnel. Now, no other president has ever done that. So that what the Democrats are dealing with is, what the hell's going on here? Because why isn't he acting like a typical Republican? Why isn't he giving us what we want? What is this? He's laying off people and furlough them and not going to pay them anything, that he's not going to bring them back. And I come back to this simple question, which I've asked you before. We have 2.2 million administrative personnel in the operation of the federal government. Of that, 34% are classified as non-essential personnel. My question has been and continues to be asked, if we have 750,000 non-essential personnel, why do we have them if they're not essential? And so what Trump is doing is...
You're crazy here. You're asking practical questions. You got anything else?
Well, Trump is starting to lay off the people who are the non-essential personnel.
Okay, well...
And by the way, how has the government shutdown affected you personally, sir?
Well, look, I'm enjoying no phone calls from the government.
You know, before the shutdown, I was calling Social Security on a problem, and I would get this message when I would call in. Thank you for calling Social Security. Your call is more than 120 minutes behind.
Okay.
Okay? Last Friday in the shutdown, you know how long it took me to get through to Social Security? 20 minutes. So what's going on?
I don't know. Do you think the American people see what's really happening here on this shutdown?
Yeah, I think they do. I think that they understand what Trump is trying to do because he told them he was going to do that, and he's living up to his promise. And that's the problem that the Democrats are having. He made all these damn promises, and he keeps keeping them. And the court keeps supporting him.
Well, the irony of all of this is the same resolution, CR I should say, that they voted for in times past. So you kind of wonder, you know, the hypocrisy really reeks here. I don't know what they plan to gain out of this. I mean, did they actually think that this president and this House of Representatives and this Senate's going to live in?
I cannot come up with a scenario, not that there isn't one out there, but I can't come up with one that says what would make Donald Trump agree to increase spending by $1.5 trillion in providing medical benefits for illegal aliens. Why?
I don't know. We just
there's no answer to that. And they again, it's an example, Perry, of just how out of touch the Democrats are with reality. The American people do not want their tax dollars going to pay for insurance premiums for illegals.
Yeah.
And whatever it takes, it takes.
Okay. In the meantime, the president is trying to crack down on crime. He's getting interrupted right here in Oregon. He's had 2 lower courts issue injunctions to keep him from bringing the National Guard in. It's sitting at the Ninth Circuit Appellate Court right now, and there's indications that they may overturn the lower courts because they think the president does have this. What's falling through the cracks here, Dan, on what's happening in Portland and in Chicago and other cities is the term insurrection. It's been redefined right in front of our nose when most of this is certainly not only insurrection, but it is, well, it's insurrection. I don't know why we're trying to redefine it.
They're trying to redefine it because the Democrats want to create a different interpretation of the law. You know, we had, speaking of Chicago, we had a federal district court make this ruling. Now, this is paraphrasing, I'll grant you, but it's what he said. Yes, Mr. Trump has the right to nationalize the National Guard, put him in federal service. Yes, Trump has the right to send him to Illinois, okay? But he can't deploy him. Why would the court give him the ability to nationalize him and bring him into Illinois, but not allow him to use him? But that doesn't make any sense. So it's the courts, again, are playing games from a Democratic standpoint to try and do whatever they can to thwart Donald Trump and what he's trying to do. But when you start putting, like, look what happened. in a week's time, Perry, look at what happened in a week's time in Boston.
Yeah.
The mayor was very verbose in saying, we're not going to let the ISIS come in. We don't have a problem. We don't have any crime problem. None of that. But the minute the thing broke out in downtown Boston, she was nowhere to be found. She said nothing. So she's, in a week's time, she went from being verbose about, we're going to protest this, and when the protest hit Boston, she disappeared.
Yeah.
So it's you have to ask the question, what is their motivation? And the idea that you want to kill ISIS or FBI agents or Homeland Security, whatever they are, you want to put them in line of fire. And I think if we don't stop this, it's going to get worse and worse. And I predicted that the number one issue in the midterm election will be crime in America.
All right. I only got about a minute left. Can you tell me the difference between anarchy and insurrection?
Insurrection is considered to be an event, a process by which we try and take physical control of the government. Anarchists are people who protest but don't actually try to attack the government to take control of the government.
Okay, so what's happening when we're attacking federal buildings? Is it anarchy or insurrection?
I believe it's insurrection.
Okay. Because that's where we are. I mean, that's the problem.
Pardon me?
That's where we are. That's the problem. We're attacking federal buildings and threatening federal workers.
Right. So January 6th was what? A riot, insurrection, anarchy.
Yeah. Well, they want it to be insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
But now the media is calling it a riot.
Yeah.
They're not calling it insurrection or anarchy. They're saying it was actually a riot.
Yeah. Hey, good to see you. Thank you. danperkins.guru. And then songs and stories for soldiers.us. You're looking good. You look healthy.
Thank you. I've lost some weight.
Well, you look healthy. I don't know what you're eating, but keep eating it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dan. God bless you, friend. See you later.
Bye.
The Dove's brand new studio is complete, and you've made it happen. To give you an in-person chance to see this important milestone, the Dove is hosting an open house Wednesday, October 29th from 10 to 1 p.m. at our studios. Hope to see you.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely